So there's 5 of us tonight. So definitely no talking at this point in the show because that would be like mayhem. If 5 people started talking right now, that would suck.
It'd be chaos.
Ruin the intro.
I'm just trying to
What?
shut the sound off my screen.
Real quick, whoever's talking, please stop. Like I just
All right,
said, this would be the
all
worst
right.
time to talk
I don't
during
know.
the show because
You know,
It's only 5 of us.
just want to get through the intro and then it'll be okay to talk. But for
I'll
now,
just mute myself.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. Well, or everybody. All right.
gotta
Everybody
change
sound off so
my-
we can hear what you sound like, and then we'll know who's talking.
This is an
We gotta
uncomfortable
change our
amount of people
intro.
talking.
I think we got it.
This is my favorite.
I'm having a tough time hearing you guys. Actually, it's not. I don't know what it is, but like for
Hello?
some reason,
Hello.
you sound so distant and far away. But
We are.
anyway, welcome to Let Past 10, everyone. How's
Hundreds
it
of
going?
miles.
I feel
Good to see you guys.
something about. Do I have like a glow about me today? I feel
Yeah,
huge.
you're
I feel like a
big.
big deal.
You're kind of
Mm.
big. You're
I
a
don't
big
know.
You ate
deal.
too many servings of spaghetti earlier. I think.
I
You're a
feel like
big deal.
comparatively,
Goddamn.
I don't know, I'm-
everybody?
I feel special. I feel a little special right now.
Well,
I'm not
you're a
sure
little
why.
special.
Like
Let's
Andrea.
put it that way.
Absolutely.
You guys.
saw
Where is everybody?
feeling
on my
small.
my
channel?
meal.
Oh
Or-
wait, hold on. We're in asshole view here. Let me.
We're an asshole.
There, that- yeah, that
view.
does look
There
a
we
little
go. There
better.
we go. Okay.
Ah.
Sorry, I had
I
the jerk
thought-
cam on.
I thought we were
That's
in
it's
big boy
Fantastic.
view. Big boy,
boy
view. Yeah, big boy.
I'm a
view.
big boy.
Leatherhack
boy.
didn't have the balls to go all the way with that bit.
Yeah, that
Oh.
just feels wrong. I'm too inclusive. I'm just way too inclusive for that
Always.
kind of.
You just don't have the stuff.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't. Carlos is back. What's up, Carlos? From A Difficult
going?
Truth.
Carlos.
That's a difficult truth for you, is that you don't have the balls. For that bit.
Hey, what are you gonna
I'm
do?
so glad I need to laugh. God damn it.
Just go with what you're.
What? I
born
thought we were doing some very heavy politics.
with. Oh,
Oh God. Every
hmm.
time I bring it up, they shut me up quickly.
Bring what up? What are we bringing up?
Politics. Mac.
Okay,
did
what do you got, Sandy? Shoot. What's your favorite
do I
political
have?
right now?
Nah, I didn't have enough money.
Your hair is starting to give you what?
Give my secret. Yeah, because normally you can't tell that I have long hair.
Oh yeah, starting to. Yeah,
Well-
speaking of
Mine's
Luke
starting to be as
Skywalker,
long as
My word.
Andrea's.
The big secret today is that I haven't showered in 36 hours. So
That's a big. Well, that's
I'm
not much
rolling
to
with
see.
it.
It's very obvious based on
it's
what
been
we
one
can
of
see.
those cycles for the old letter hack here. Rough. rough
Emphasis on
times.
old.
They're trickling in.
Yes. Emphasis on old. You got it.
Old. I'm
Um,
old. Look at. I'm going gray. I'm letting it grow out. Remember when I used to be purple, violet? No more.
That was
Yes.
a long time
Yes.
ago.
That
We got to
was-
update the intro again.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's okay. I am old. OLD.
I love Matt is becoming a hippie, buddy.
Oh,
got news for you.
Hmm.
My
I'm
it's
old
funny because
AULD.
I live in South Carolina, and for me, like the winter isn't cold, and I'm walking around barefoot all the time, and my neighbors are like, "Look at this hippie," and I'm like, "It's really warm out," and they're like, "Oh my god, it's 60." What are you kidding me? And I'm like, "Yeah, it's warm." Sorry.
60 is boiling. I will
Yeah.
die in 60-degree weather. That's like fucking the
It's
Middle
40
East or fucking
40
Arizona or some shit, man.
It's 46 here. I put a fire in the stove.
46. You're
Yeah,
gonna put
it
a
would-
fucking,
46?
I did already.
You're gonna
It-
spontaneously combust in 46 degrees. That
days
is
ago-
hot as fuck.
2 days ago, Andrea, it was 81. And then we were supposed to get these crazy.
80. Are you
For
in
na-
an
yeah,
oven?
and now
What do
it's
you mean
46.
81. No.
We're in weather
give me a
whiplash,
break.
baby. Weather
I
whiplash.
don't believe in
So,
whiplash.
Carlos, what is it where you are?
Well, I'm originally from
Celsius.
Florida, so I was like, I don't understand. I'm from Florida. Like this is 60-degree weather is like perfect.
Yeah.
It's even a little chilly. But here in Georgia, it's pretty nice. I think it's about what high 60s, maybe low 70s.
Georgia.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't
I
know you
like a
liked
solid
Georgia.
15-degree situation.
My
That's where I'm
buddy's
comfortable.
my buddy is laid up in Georgia. He fell off a roof helping somebody in Atlanta fix her roof, and he broke his
Wow.
pelvis and his. Yeah, I did a GoFundMe for him.
You know
And
when
he
they say
raised
that
$6,000 in 2 days.
I'm sorry
Wow.
for interrupting.
He can't open his Airbnb. He was supposed to be
Ooh.
here tomorrow to help me with my garden, like he goes every year. He goes to Florida in the winter.
Okay,
And
here
then
we
he
go
goes-
again. God,
No,
this is
this
every
is-
week now.
He's a YouTuber, Collapse Chronicles.
Sure.
No, he comes every May to help me open my garden. But obviously he's stuck at his sister's in Atlanta.
So he fell off the roof? What
Yeah,
happened?
that dumb shit. I don't know what happened exactly, but all I know is he's stuck.
So
at his
he's
sister's.
dumb. So we're allowed to make fun of him?
No, I know you
I
guys
make
are friends
fun of him.
now because that is exactly what you say when your friend falls out of the roof. Like this
Yeah.
silly asshole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the thing I
exactly.
found out about roofers when I don't like police. So when I found out that the roofing is a more dangerous job than police officer, and now here I am
Yeah.
hearing some evidence of that.
Well, it
all
is.
coming together.
I told you
100%.
I told you how my ex-husband was here. What was it, 2 weeks ago to get all his roofing
Did
shit?
he
and
fall
his
off the
age?
roof too?
Who knows? I can't believe he's roofing again. He has a job and he's now roofing at his age. He's back up on the
You're
roof.
acting like roofing is like it's some like hardcore like drug activity or something. Like, yeah, he was roofing the other day. I caught him in the corner
And he
roofing it
fell
out.
off the roof.
Yeah.
He roofed himself.
He
Wow.
Mm.
Dangerous and strenuous though. Like
Yeah, I mean, but
guy.
yes.
My
It is
friend's
kinda
out there.
dangerous, that is true.
Yeah, it's
Harsh on the
Hambone.
body.
It's Hambone. That's his nickname. He'll be all right. I talk to him like he calls about 100 times a day. So yeah.
Carlos,
bored.
I'm painfully ignorant
Yes.
about a difficult truth. Give me the
Painfully.
breakdown.
It's very
What-
painful.
What's
He's
your?
pain.
You obviously have taste and backgrounds. People who know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, he does. We always say
so
that.
I already know you're good people, but tell me about the show. What's the elevator pitch?
Yeah. So A Difficult Truth originally started off as a band. I was actually telling this story the first time I came.
Jake wasn't there, just so we
yeah, so it
know.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
He just wasn't there. Man,
Yeah.
I wonder why. 'cause,
So it started off as a band, and the name A Difficult Truth was the name of a song from another band. So one of the other founders had another band, and she made a song called A Difficult Truth, and then started the band called A Difficult Truth, and so on and so forth. It eventually became a podcast. Originally started off as like more like pro-environmental kind of deal. And it just evolved into what it is. I mean, it used to be like minute long like vlogs about like environment stuff, like the algae stuff that was happening in Florida, things like that. And it eventually just evolved into like a live politics stream because I figured that that's just the most comfortable thing I fell on, actually.
Do you ever get the old band back together, play a couple?
Yeah,
couple
sometimes.
bangers, rip 'em
Yeah,
out?
sometimes. Like actually, the reason why I'm here is because
Like on this show tonight.
oh, I wish. I wish. But like the reason why I'm here in Georgia is because one of the original founders of A Difficult Truth is here. So
Okay.
sometimes, yeah, that does happen. We get
That's
to
cool.
actually play.
cool.
The drummer's still back in Florida, and the actual outro of A Difficult Truth of the show is his band. So if you ever just listen to the last outro of the stream, it's his song.
Which is
in the
not
back.
a difficult truth.
No,
Well, that's
it's not a
cool.
Difficult Truth. But I
That's a
played
deep
it.
cut. You would assume a difficult truth to show would have music from a difficult truth to band, possibly even a difficult truth to song, which is also not a difficult truth to band. But I like
I
that you're
do like
keeping it like there's a
the lore.
satellite continuity here. That's very
Yeah,
important.
and it's funny because that same person, I can also play the same there because I used to play in that band too. So it's all
Oh, have you heard of the End of the
interconnected.
World? The End of the World Party? That's Scott's band. He's in Atlanta. End of the World Party.
huh. That's
Good.
cool. No, I
should put
haven't.
well, maybe I should have you and I have a little playlist called the Three Domingos, and it's Scott and Brett and me. Well, no, the Three Domingos. It's Scott. Well, anyway, you could be the third one if you want.
Have we talked, like, don't dox yourself, but have we talked about our proximity? Because I'm in Greenwood, South Carolina.
Yeah. I don't know where Greenwood is, but like I'm in like the north of Georgia,
Oh.
like and in the mountain city. In the first mountain city.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, I
So-
go down souther,
You could be
more
the third.
southern a lot to Augusta.
Okay.
They have like a Comic-Con or an anime fest
And a lot of
or
clan meetings. which is
yeah.
why
Well,
he's
they
in
have
town.
like every other month. There's another pop culture festival where a bunch of people are selling comics, and I'm like, I'm down there. They have a
Yeah.
GI Joe festival every year. It's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I get a hotel. It's crazy.
There
fun.
was I forget what it was called. A couple months ago. Some kind of I forget the name. Collecticon. That's what it
Oh
was.
yeah.
Yeah. I went to that.
Oh man,
That
I love
sounds
collecting.
like the sort of thing.
was that in
That'd be-
Athens?
No, it was in Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Okay, right.
Mhm.
What do you collect?
Mostly nowadays. Mostly nowadays, Magic the Gathering cards.
Oh, nice.
Ah,
The reason why I went to Collecticon was because they had a whole bunch of like Magic the Gathering cards and stuff like that.
I saw a $900 one at South Carolina
Yeah, I'm
this
sure.
year.
I'm
This guy
sure.
had a bunch in a glass case, and one was $900, and I was like, there must have only been like 4 of those. Like,
Yeah,
how could it be that expensive?
there's a couple of
Yeah,
Magic cards that
900
are
is
worth
nothing.
a lot.
That's one of the cheap ones. You know,
Oh,
there's
really?
like some like 30K ones at least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
that's gotta be a bubble. That's gotta be a bubble. Well, this generation.
No, well, I mean,
specifically
Wizards is gonna
has
lead
money.
like they're gonna release the fucking reserved list, and then it's all gonna fucking pop.
Yeah, it's
They
like
got
playing
some
stocks.
secret boxes in the fucking closet. They're all gonna sell off their secret reserve boxes. These fucking
So
bastards.
there's
Yep.
I've been watching a YouTube channel for a retro toy store. I was telling
Yep, here we
somebody
go
about
again.
this already. Yeah, Andrew,
You're
I
telling
heard
this show. Now I heard
Oh,
it
was
on
it
this
on?
show, like
You and I
several
talk so
times.
often. I might have been.
At
might have been.
least 5 times you've brought it up on this
I
fucking
did.
show. You're
Jake,
like, oh yeah,
have you
they
heard
got,
this, Carlos? Have you heard
Nope.
this? So
Here
I've
we
been
go
watching it
again.
because they haggle over toys. People bring it in or bring in like tubs of toys. Like, I found these in my parents' attic, or I've had these forever, and they will they'll give you half of what they're worth, but sometimes it's like, oh shit, you have just the gun for this Empire Strikes Back Han Solo toy. That's worth $50. Or, oh, we have like, you have a faded right leg. We've got like a box full of good right legs in the back. We can swap it out and it'll be good. It's
I knew it.
crazy.
How about a right hip?
It's just really fun to see the passion and the knowledge in anything, but you know, this is kind of cool. So I was like,
Yeah, I
I'd love
gotta
to
say,
go.
as I just want to interrupt your story for a mild asterisk here. Like, you ever think about like, does it devalue the toy? That's not the original leg that came with that original
I
toy.
did
No.
wonder that.
Like, I would rather keep the
okay.
original leg, even if it's faded, because it's a more complete.
It won't be more devalued than it is.
Well, I understand that because these
It's
people
out
are
of the
frauds.
box. It's
They
already
should be devalued. Jake knows what's up.
no, but so at that point, it's just to the collector. If somebody wants a set, they'll do what they got to
Yeah,
do.
but if I'm buying
Well,
the toy like
and
6 years from
the-
now, I'm
the
not going to know that
faded-
that leg was replaced.
the faded leg is this. Sometimes they'll go, oh, this is from that warehouse they discovered in Chile. And you're like, what? They're like, there's a warehouse they discovered full of Star Wars action figures, and half of them were Taiwan variants, and they all have a faded leg. And
So
you're
you
like,
gotta
what are they even
reunite the
talking
faded
about?
legs? Yeah,
I don't know
So-
what you're talking about.
Yeah, so there's all this like complexity to it. It's really neat. I'm not even into toys, but I was like, I would love to know where this place is and go there one day. It's an hour away.
You're not into
Nice.
toys. We have to ask.
I'm
your
going
wife.
Saturday. It was like I watched 40 hours of this fucking YouTube before I realized they're 1 hour away from me and I could just go there. Because they were saying like GI Joes are really popular in this area because everyone in the South was into like military stuff in the 80s when they were kids. And I was like, the South, where are they? They're 1 hour away. I was like, holy shit, I'm going
Dude,
Saturday.
how sad is that, by the way? Like that we propagandize our kids into wanting to join the fuck. How many of these fucking kids went on to die in Iraq, get their fucking
G.I.
legs
Joe
blown
and
off?
wrestling
Yeah,
wrestling.
what's
Oh,
the
they may have
G.I.
gone
Joe
into
to
wrestling.
getting your fucking arms blown off
About
in Iraq
10,000
pipeline?
is the
Do you
answer.
think that with the
10,000?
way that the
Be
military is being
banned?
treated, do you think that people will want to volunteer for this military once they realize
I'll
that
I don't think they'll
they're
have
going
to volunteer to be affiliated. There's
I
like
think
county
there'll be a
sheriffs
draft.
deputizing ICE agents
Well,
right now,
I
and it's
know.
like you can just do that wherever you live.
I'll
You
join
don't
the
have to go
military.
to-
That gets me out of the country.
Yeah.
And I'll run. I'll bolt. I'll go to
Yeah.
a base somewhere and then I'll just fucking
Join-
take the uniform off and just book it.
Join BlackRock. Be under or one of those like
I'll be like those North Korean
Work
soldiers.
for Eric
you know?
Prince,
yeah.
brother of Betsy DeVos.
the evil people. Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind
military,
working for a prince, that's all.
There is private spying that's happening. Not sure if y'all are aware of that, but you could literally, if you so
For
chose,
years.
start an Archer type spy agency. That's perfectly legal. I thought that was
Perfect
like
for
a
you,
joke
Andrea.
in the show
Perfect.
Archer.
No, I would
I've
love to
since
start. You want to
learned.
start
Andrea the
a
spy.
duo, a spy duo, Jake?
Nah, it sounds like a lot of
yes.
work.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Excellent. You've already got the tie, so it's
So
looking
cute.
pretty good so far. You're
Um,
gonna go to the
Aw.
fucking gas station, and you're gonna listen to the cashier.
sign up for the military is down though, right? Doesn't it
Yeah,
go
I was
down
about to
every
say
year
to
now?
Sandy's point. I think the enlistment is like super down. They're having trouble
Yeah.
trying to meet the.
Who the hell wants when they know they're going to get shit on when they leave? And
And it's pay as well.
it's gonna be a draft.
Yeah, I think the only
Eventually,
people joining
if-
up
if
just don't have
forever.
a choice.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
the
know. Feel like they
people
don't.
It's
are at
very-
all considering people being mean to them when they leave. Mostly because that's not really a thing.
No
Like,
benefits.
people aren't like you were in the
benefits.
military.
No, I'm not
They go,
talking about that. I'm talking
I do
about
that.
benefits.
Like the
Oh,
country
yeah, you're
turns
right.
its back
Benefits.
on you.
None.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
none,
not
you're
talking
right.
about the last time they treated veterans
Well-
like shit was when they came back from NAM. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
yeah, I see
benefits,
what you're saying. There's not a support network.
schooling. No, it's like they don't. This country shits all over everybody now. Everyone, not
Yeah.
this country. The fucking administration that's in there.
Well,
The
to be fair,
orange
not the
turd.
billionaires.
The country.
Yeah. Ugh.
Maxotaurus is
Hey.
in my chat. Hello, Maxotaurus. Welcome.
Max the Taurus? Like
Maxotaurus.
the-
I don't know Maxotaurus, so I'm saying hello
I'm going
to
to
a
cartoon mode for a minute.
newbie in the chat.
I thought you said
Cartoon mode.
Max the tourist.
No,
like he's-
Max
He's
Maxotaurus.
just visiting.
Maxotaurus. Hello, Maxotaurus.
One word? Why can't
Yep,
I see it?
One word. You can't see it?
Oh, I got it.
No, probably
Yeah.
because they're on the.
They're- No, they're in.
Oh, that's
Recording.
that is.
Do we
a
get
good
to share
handle.
chats?
Yeah, they should all be up if you're on. Is your
Letterhack
channel
is
showing it?
able to see every chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Only
that's awesome.
Letterhack.
He's
That's
he's
cool.
omnipresent.
No, we can see it if we look at the comments on StreamYard.
Oh, yeah,
I
but
see
you
I
it
guys
all.
try
on
not to
the-
look at the chat. I don't want to
Click
see
it.
what these people are
Oh,
saying.
I do.
I can't be in the
It's
show.
my
Every time I look at
favorite.
the chat, it's like, ooh, why is
Yeah, but on
Andrea moving in a weird
Wednesdays,
way?
Since I'm not running the show, I like to be with the chat and be
There
on
you go.
here. But when I'm running the show, it's that's hard. Last night was it last night? Yeah, I did my lefty prepper show, and it started. I had the windows all open because it was so hot. I thought all the storms were over, and it started freaking pouring
Hot
outside.
was like what, 60, 61?
No, it was 81 yesterday, but I had to get off and run into the living room and go shut. I said, shit, or whatever I said live. I'm like, fuck. Here I threw a video on. I said, I'll be right back. It poured into my living room because the
Wow.
wind.
Is the
whatever.
rain sideways?
I don't know. I came right back in and just forgot about it.
I know Jake reads comics. Carlos, do you ever read comic books?
Sometimes I have. The only comics I have right now are two sad Spider-Man comics that are sitting somewhere all the way over there in the back.
That was
Why
awesome
are
how
they
you're like
sad?
they're right there, like you're looking at them.
Yeah, well, I am. They're just like in the
That's
backpack over
awesome.
there.
Cool. I interviewed Dennis Kitchen,
Yeah.
who is a famous underground cartoonist, a comic maker, and artist from the 70s, 60s, and 70s. Oh, there's Max the dog. What's up, Max? And
Oh, look
he
at-
is
yeah.
a First Amendment advocate and activist
Yeah.
since then, and he
Oh,
created the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. So
Oh,
yeah, so he's
Heck yeah.
he I mean, this guy's like the real deal. So I interviewed him, and that's going to be coming out soon, like in a couple of weeks. And leading up to it,
cool.
I have been given permission. There's a documentary coming out about him. They're going to do a Kickstarter, and leading up to it, I've been given permission to show some exclusive clips.
Very
Well, let's
nice.
see those
Nice.
clips.
Yeah, well, I have one now that I can show.
I believe they're called magazines.
And
You're a monster.
this guy is the guy that okay, so this is an example of how many like just total kick-ass badass artists they have in the lineup as far as like interviews and people who have worked with Dennis Kitchen over the
I've
years.
heard of Dennis Kitchen.
This is Pete Poplaski, legendary guy. But here, check this out. Let's see. This should come up.
Working on a traditional approach with Uncle Sam and the Republican elephant who's wearing a dictator hat. And I started off with just one, but now I'm on working up to 13 of them.
Did you see it said painter and swordsman? I don't know what the swordsman is about, but that is awesome.
And it just keeps
Wow.
going. When I'm working on this kind of project, what's hard about it is I draw everything 3 times. You get an idea sketch,
this out.
then you try to work it up into something bigger.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I have to turn around and flip it to see if this approach is good. And then when I redraw it, the final version is totally reversed.
Wow.
Badass. So
Yeah.
what he's doing there is when you know, a lot of artists will look at things through the back of the paper because all of a sudden things come to light and you're like, oh, I was like doing it all left brain. You know what I mean? And when you look at it in reverse, you're like, oh, it's not to scale. It's not proportionate. It's lopsided here, or the composition is weird. So then that's why he will sometimes just draw the whole thing in reverse, which I think is like both brain.
Wow.
But anyway, that's going to be a great
Yeah.
documentary. That guy's a legend. He did a lot of like
Yay.
DC art, like for covers and stuff, like the collections of all the Superman Sunday comic strips. Like when they collect them, he does the cover art for the books. He
Very
is
cool.
a legend. So, but yeah, that documentary is going to be great. They're announcing on Instagram all the different people they interview about Dennis Kitchen throughout his career, and he's not. And speaking of collections, he has one of the most impressive just collections. He lives in like sort of it's a big house, but it's like a cabin in the woods. And he has an outdoor garden in the woods of dolls. And it's
Oh, that's
I forget what he
really
calls it, but
spooky.
Jake, are you okay?
it's very
What's happening
spooky,
here?
but it's cool.
That's
So anyway,
spooky.
that's going to be fun. That's
Yeah.
gonna
that's
be a good one.
awesome.
Sounds like a great guy.
Yeah, and there's a link to that
Yeah.
Kickstarter in the description of my video and in my pin chat. You can check it out and you can sign up to follow it. And if you sign up to follow it, it keeps it in the algorithm. So that's
So
something
is the-
to know about crowdfunding on Kickstarter.
Is the Kickstarter to release
I
the
don't even
movie?
think I.
Yeah, so the movie is mostly done. They just need cost for distribution and to do all the post production.
Like what my kid's involved in. Yep.
Yeah,
Been
and so
doing
I
that
interviewed
fundraising.
Dennis Kitchen and both the filmmakers. One of the filmmakers, this was crazy. His name is Ted Intorcio, and I know him from Colorado. Like
Really?
he's a local comics guy, and he and I would like table together at the comic shop during Free Comic Book Day, which is Saturday, this first Saturday of every May. And you know, there's a big long line of all these people come out to get the free comics, and they wind it through the store, and they have different sales and events going on in the store, including local artists who will draw free stuff for people online.
Right.
You could just tell us what to draw and we'll draw it for you. And Ted and I would like sit next together at that. We sat next to each other at Comic-Cons and stuff. So I was like, oh, cool. I know him. Small world. So it was fun. I got to interview him, the other filmmaker, and Dennis Kitchen. But yeah, it's like the great thing about Kickstarter is it's not just funding the project. There's different tiers. So the higher tier you sign up for, like the more cash you put down, the more shit you get. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
all
yeah.
this
love shit.
incentive. Yeah.
That's the thing
Really
is
cool.
I love getting shit in the mail. Like when, you know, like I'm serious.
Remember?
When
Yeah,
I
me too.
put down hundreds, maybe even $1,000 on some like comic or some movie, and then they just send me like, here's a T-shirt, here's a fucking steel book, here's a goddamn cardboard cutout,
Yeah.
here's 2 cardboard cutouts just because we had an extra. I love getting all that shit in the mail.
I
My
did the
postal service workers like, oh gee, they look at the house, not like, you know, and they're like, oh god, not these people.
I did
Getting all the
the
cardboard
G.I.
cutout.
Joe compendiums, 4 1,200-page books. Comes in a box. It's like amazing.
You got to sign for it, you know.
That's
like,
the one that
you
was
hear the
funded
beeping
in
sound,
3
you know, they got to
minutes.
fucking freight it over.
Made
Oh,
millions.
yeah.
Made like $3 million last year. So now they're doing the Transformers version of it, and it's 4 huge books. Again, it was more successful than G.I. Joe. But I am just now getting into volume 4 of the G.I. Joe, and I realize there's a misprint. 2 pages have extra paper with the CMYK bars on the side, and it's folded into the book to fit. So what I did was, I don't care, actually. I think that makes it unique. Like, if I've learned anything about collecting, a misprint,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, you have one of the misprinted ones? Holy shit, that's worth $10,000 more or whatever. So I
Well,
think
make
it's
it
cool.
rare quick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let
So
them know.
But so what I did was I said, I sent it in with pictures and said, hey, I don't know if there's anything can be done about this.
Right.
I can still read it, but the book isn't what I paid for. I'd be willing to just take a discount code for the Transformers Kickstarter, right? Like,
That's the thing, though.
let
Then
me
they're gonna
knock off
pull up
$50.
this video. They're gonna pull up this. We see you scheming and scamming live on stream.
They're way too busy. Are you kidding me? They got like
Well,
thousands of
they're not gonna be
people.
that busy because I'm gonna send them the clip.
Anyway, they're not going to do it. The Kickstarter's over tomorrow. They're not
Oh,
going to get back to me in time, but
All
they
right.
did get back to me once. They said, we'll see what we can do, but
Yeah.
it'd be awesome to at least get free shipping. But
Well, I just want them to correct the misprint if possible. Like, are they going to keep making that book, or was it only for the Kickstarter? No, the Kickstarter was for the book. So,
but it was
I
only
hope
my
they've
book.
corrected it.
It wasn't every book. I looked it up online and I saw like one other case where it happened to somebody, and it was in a different volume. Yeah, so
Well,
they're
if
just
you have
random.
the single misprint, that's fantastic.
The single volume 4, I might have it. It'd be pretty cool.
Well, here's
like,
what you got to do.
What do I have
gotta
to
find
send
the
it back to
misprint.
them to replace it? No, they probably let me
No.
keep
You got to
it. I'd
find
probably
the
end up with
misprint
2.
for each volume. You got to go get that guy who's got like the volume 2 one or whatever. You got to say, hey, listen, $1,000, just hand it over. I'm building a collection here. Then you have all 4 misprints. Throw
Right.
it up on eBay, $100,000. It'll sell out in a week.
I'm gonna get advice from the toy guys. Oh, okay. The toy guys have comics in their
There we
shop,
go.
and they have a row of comics, and they're always leaning on them in their YouTube videos. They put like fast food on them. They don't have like a table where they look at all these toys, so they set shit
Ooh.
on the comics all the time. And I was telling Andrea, like, I was gonna get pissed off and go in there and be like, "You guys are mistreating these comics." Turns out, in one of the videos, they go, "Our number one comment is people getting pissed off about us putting stuff on top of the comics."
Rightly
turns
so.
out-
Really
That you are not as original and unique as you may.
No,
have
it's just
previously-
saying, like, a lot of people have sense. A lot of people know what's up.
Well, particularly
Oh,
since
shit.
their whole thing is like, imagine if they were like, "Hi, we're car guys," and the entire time in the background there's like an Aston Martin that they're like hanging clothes off of.
Yeah, yeah.
Just putting raw salami on for no reason. You're like,
Covered in bird
why?
shit.
No, but that's what you don't understand is that they do that on purpose. Like the cost of those comics, they get more money back in ad revenue from the engagement, the people commenting and the algorithm, that they
Smart.
can just buy more copies
Really?
of all of those comics, sacrifice them to the wind just for the clicks.
Yeah. The good comics are behind the
Okay.
behind the register. They got
Oh,
them on
yeah.
the wall behind
Those
the
are all
register.
reproductions, even.
Those are crap comics in the box. I'll let you know Saturday, but I'm pretty sure.
I have recently taken to trying to save the fish in a koi pond from the dog that's eating them all the time.
Oh,
Oh,
Please tell us more.
oh,
yeah.
drinking so sleepy. Well, it's not going great, gang. I keep finding whenever I come over to see this dog, which is about once a day, there's always a new fish in the yard because she's not trying to kill them; she's trying to play with them, and she doesn't get that they breathe opposite. So she'll fling them into the yard, and then they'll be like, "Oh, they stopped moving. Okay, back to playing." And I
But this
bury
is
them.
a koi pond.
It,
So
it's
why
a
don't
koi
they
pond,
put?
yeah.
Well, then why can't they put something around it?
I'm
Well, I
sorry.
just
Put
spent
the in I
an
bury
afternoon-
them. What was that delivery?
He's taking
And
care
then
of
you
a
were
dog,
given a shovel.
visiting a dog that is eating koi out of someone's pond, and they are not
She got
putting a
it.
fence around the pond. Make a
And
creative
if
fence.
Why are you burying them? Like in where? And more like are
it's
Yeah,
you just
in
really
the
building a
yard
mass
around the
grave?
pond,
You just building small graves
pet
everywhere.
cemetery.
Yep.
and basically,
Do you
But
say
I-
any?
comment?
to,
Do you
to
say
put
any words?
Sandy's mind
Shut
at
up.
ease, today I did roll up my pant legs and go down and build what under the water a place they can all hide when
From the dog.
comes.
That's
But
pretty.
when I
wild
came out,
story.
I was hearing a crunching, and I look in the dog's mouth, and she's eating what appears to be a giant brown goldfish cracker. No, she's just dug up the fish holes, and she's, I guess, a Swedish dog.
She's a dog.
Yeah,
Wolf.
that tracks.
And you're like sacrilege, right?
Basically, everything I try to do, she finds a way around and to defeat.
Are
Do
you the
you
dog
have-
whisperer? Are
Do you have
dog
a service at all? Do you like put them under there and go, and then
No, I mean, you
Or
just
anything.
can't. Would you?
whisperer? Buries the fish.
I feel like y'all are acting like it's a strange thing to bury.
no? I want to know how to
I
what
buried my 2
extent your
cats
burial
3
goes.
weeks
Like
ago.
if you're gonna
Oh,
put something in the ground and do that, do you
I
stop
mean, I
there?
do take a moment to think respectful thoughts.
Yes.
That's what I
respect
mean.
I
The life.
apologize to the fish for not having figured out a way to keep it alive.
Oh,
Oh, the baby.
chicken wire for gosh sakes! I mean, even if it doesn't look great, it'll keep the fish alive. The dog won't go near chicken wire.
You got to go into the ground by like a few feet because he'll dig under it, right? So you got to get
Yeah.
got to get
Maybe.
low first, and then
Yeah.
it can't be all above ground.
Listen,
Yep.
somebody got into my garden. I have a 6-foot fence, and a piece of it is rolled over. So either the deer just banged into it, they're going in,
Ooh.
and that I gotta fix that shit. Yes,
Good
because
luck.
yeah, because I spoiled them. I left the gate open all winter so they could eat all the rest of the crap that was left, and I didn't pick it.
This was lie
Oh,
detector.
lie detector. The fish funeral.
That
oh
was
my
funny
All
as
God.
shit.
People who grew up in states other than where I am currently, like for example, Florida. Did you have any weird animal encounters that are only considered weird out of that state? Like as a kid, did your mom ever have to be like, "Stay away from the gators"? I don't know what Florida's like.
No, I mean like we have iguanas, but
Yeah, you
That's
do.
weird.
And
to
they
me.
fall out of the trees when
Cool.
it gets cold.
yeah.
Really?
I mean they're
They
it
freeze.
is weird because they're not supposed to be there. They're highly invasive.
Yeah.
And they literally fall out of the trees when it gets too cold?
What do you
Yes.
mean by
Yeah,
there? Like
they
in
freeze.
Florida? They're not
Yeah.
supposed to be in Florida? Like
No,
who
Yeah.
they're not
dictates
in.
these rules?
They're not indigenous to Florida. They came in a ship, most likely of cargo, and got loose, or people got them as exotic pets, which happens frequently, and they dump them. And
Yep.
that's what people do because people are disgusting.
And then next thing you
inherently.
know, they're in your living room.
I mean, yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
Yeah.
That would be wild. Like for context, if there was an iguana randomly in my living room, that would be a story I tell for the rest of my life at gatherings.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A random
I wouldn't be
iguana,
a
Carlos.
Like, yeah, it happens sometimes.
So
I'd be
Carlos,
like,
have you
and then in the
run
middle of
into?
the room, looking at me with its reptile eyeballs.
We have armadillo.
That's
Yeah.
Okay,
wow.
you
That's
do.
cool.
You have
They come
those?
out at night, but like occasionally there'll just be 20 in the backyard during the day, and I'm like, is this bad? Why are they out
20?
during the day? Yeah, and they
Wow.
dig
They're having a
holes.
meeting. Yeah.
So you go out in the morning, like you let the dog out, and you're like, yep, they just dug up the front yard.
Wow.
It's aerating, so no problem. But like if they
that's
get
wild.
close to the foundation, they can fuck up a house. Not
Yeah,
my
they
house,
got
but
they got to
could.
stay away from the garden too.
I'm trying to think of like weird animals. One time I left a house in Colorado and there was a turkey on the roof.
We
It
have
was
turkey,
weird.
snakes.
I've been chased
I got it all.
by gangs of
Coyotes.
turkeys.
I was chased by a
Turkeys.
skunk once.
You were
You
chased
were?
by a skunk?
Ew.
Yeah, it was like when I first moved to Colorado, I was still in the restaurant industry. I was running this kitchen. It was a breakfast place. So I had to like I was in North Boulder. I had to get the bus to go down to Pearl Street Mall
Potatoes.
at like 4:45 a.m. every day. And I was walking to the bus stop, which was a couple of blocks from the house. And I saw a skunk coming at me on the other side of the road. And I was like,
Just
well, I'll just
running
stay on this
straight
side of
in
the
your
road.
direction?
I'll quicken my pace, right? And it started crossing the road coming toward me. So I ran the other way and I
Not
stopped
good.
running thinking there's no way this thing's going to be like still
Yeah.
chasing me. I turned around.
Terrible.
It was.
Oh
I had
my
to
God.
go. I almost missed a bus. I had to go all the way around the other side of the block to like
So
get away
Lie
from it. I was like,
detector.
what the
I'm hitting the
fuck?
button on this one. I don't think
That's
so.
true story.
I just
I
want to
got a new
see
lie
the.
detector tomorrow, by the way. New
I just
lie
want to see the
detector.
skunk's
so
thoughts
what's
leading up to that. 'Cause,
It
like,
probably
maybe its
mistook
whole
me for
life-
somebody else and was like, there he is. And
chasing
There's
me?
I was
that
like,
vote.
it's the
Chasing
wrong
me?
guy.
That's a
Collective
cartoon.
guilt.
That's a cartoon you should
They're
draw
just going after
right
any human they see.
there.
Like, who else is out here at 4:45? It's that one dude that mugged me a few weeks ago. There he is.
So
There's
what's
so
the
many levels to that.
what's the
Especially
food
how low
chain?
do you have to get to the point that you're mugging animals? You're like, look, I'm sorry, squirrel.
Turn it
I'm
over.
gonna need those nuts. I'm dying here. Oh,
What's
brutal.
the food chain of armadillos? Who
Oh,
eats
like
them and
that's
who
what
do
they're
they
digging
eat?
for. They're digging for like worms and grubs
Worms. Okay.
and
Yep.
shit
And
like that.
and who preys on them?
Cars, they run them right over and all over the roads out here. That's a thing.
Oh,
Cars
well,
are really
So-
an
here-
idiot.
Yeah,
No,
that's,
Megan.
that's a thing.
That's
Cars
the
are
I see
only
them.
predator right now. Yeah,
That's horrible.
I saw
Another
a
reason
huge
to
fox.
abolish cars.
I was sitting here doing a members only, and this giant fox, the biggest. I've seen a lot of fox
I was sitting
in
here
Colorado.
doing a members only. By the way, $2.99 Letterhead membership. Check it out,
Join.
everybody.
Hit
Members only
the-
live
right,
streams
the
several
button
times a
right
week,
down
and also
there. Become a
sometimes we'll
member
even do this.
today.
And anyway, I was just back to my members only live
But
stream.
it was
Fox
it
came in.
ran by, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I thought it was a big dog, and I saw its tail, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's a fox! It's huge."
Yeah, we got foxes here, and
We have
I
Duck.
fell in love with
deer.
a fox, and then I saw it killed on the road. I was so upset.
We had
And
a fox.
every year I call the animal wildlife people that come and we rescue every year. Got to rescue animals.
I lived by a 100-year-old golf course in Colorado. It was the best view of Long's Peak, which is why they call it Longmont, because it had the best view of Long's Peak, which is the highest mountain in Colorado. And
What
it's
does
a
Mont
14er.
mean?
And every morning there was a golf ball under the cherry tree in my front yard. And I was like, no one's playing golf at night, and they're not hitting them that far.
Right.
There's like a whole park and some houses between the golf course. There's no way it came that far.
Did you start collecting the balls?
Well, and one morning I saw a fox sleeping under that tree when I went out to go to work because it was pretty early. And there was a golf ball there. And I was like, oh, the fox is like bringing golf balls over here. That's funny. Right. So then I got to work that same day, parked the car, which is against the train tracks behind. This is when I worked at Spider, and behind the building is some woods and these train tracks.
Mm-hmm.
And a fox came out,
Hey, bub.
walked right by me. This is the second fox in like an hour. Walked right by me, went over to my car, smelled the tire, and urinated on it. And I was like, what the fuck? He smelled that other fox.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, this
There
is
you
a
go.
trick. I was like, nobody's going to believe this. This is
That's
wild.
hilarious.
I believe it. That makes a lot of sense.
The escalating war of fox piss on your car.
Oh my
I was
God.
like, hey,
Why do
not
you
good.
reek
It's like, my name's Paul, and this is
Successively
between
worse
y'all.
every day.
I don't have
I
anything to
couldn't
do.
begin to tell you.
Mhm.
Foxes
Really
are
weird.
very territorial.
They're
creatures.
beautiful.
What
Yeah.
is your favorite blank animal run on blank hardware? For example, hyenas are dog software with cat hardware. I think I'm saying that right.
I got you.
But they're
Oh.
feline hyenas. They're
Right.
not dogs. They're not
Oh.
canine.
Platypus. Is that
They
too
act
easy?
That's outside. I don't. What is
Dog
the
hardware,
niche it's doing?
beaver software. Is that right?
Oh,
Or other way
kind of.
around, maybe?
Yeah. No, that works. That works. I don't know. You got penguins, which are birds pretending to be fish. Foxes, which are clearly dogs pretending to be cats.
Yep.
Not pretending. I think they're
That's
successfully
cute.
pulling it off.
That's
They're more
all cute.
cat-like.
Oh my
Oh.
eyes. That's cute.
Dogs. Did you know dogs and foxes have not shared DNA for millions of years? They're not the same.
Yeah.
Foxes
That
are
tracks.
not canine. Yeah.
They're
The-
not,
I-
yeah.
I had a border collie that was raised outdoors, and everyone thought it was part fox because she kind
Really?
of looked like it. And I was like, well, it's not genetically possible, but she may have lived with foxes. That's because foxes hunt by running around trees to disorient squirrels and stuff. Like the squirrels are like, where is it? Where is it? And they fall out of the tree and they grab them as they're running around. And my dog used to hunt that way. I witnessed this more than once. A dog runs around the tree, and I'm like, the fuck is she doing? And then, the first time I was like, what is she doing? And then I see a squirrel fall out, and she just grabbed it on one of the
Oh, yeah.
rotations and it's like, "Rawr." And I was like, oh my God, that's
I had a dog like
amazing.
that. Mhm.
Skill.
Yeah. Hey, did you have wolves in Colorado?
Yeah. A lot of coyote. You would see coyote all the time.
Yeah, we have tons of coyote here.
But there were
Gazillion.
wolves and bears.
Every
and
night. Oh,
elk.
you cute. Did I ever tell you
Giant
guys?
elk
Elk?
just sitting in people's
yeah.
yards.
Oh yeah, in
Just like
Colorado.
That's
totally
awesome.
chill.
Hanging
Yeah.
out.
Like the moose in Alaska. The
I
elk
believe
Yeah.
they're
in
meese.
Colorado. Yeah, we just have
Those things
puny
freak me
deer.
out, man.
We have puny deer. They're not.
Nieces.
Some of them are big. I have a couple that live on the property. I hope they stay. Yeah.
No better security animal. I will not be
They're
trying
there.
to steal your television. Now that I know that the moose are about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Moose is in
moose
the-
moose are dangerous.
Yeah.
They will
they're-
fuck you
They're
up.
big.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
People
one
they'll
of the
curb
only-
stomp
deal
you.
with them. They
Yeah.
deal with them up there. I think.
You're one of the only animals
yeah.
of that size that acts like it. Like that the moose, hippos, and water buffalo. That's basically it.
Yeah.
All the other ones apparently think they're house cats. I don't know. Even elephants are like, "Whoa, human, go easy." I'm like, "What?" I could
Well,
be
that's
as
because
angry- I could
elephants
be-
are like I don't
Yeah,
want to
there
have to
you
hurt
go.
you.
That's
I will
cool.
kill you, but I don't want to.
Love
That's
that.
true. The elephant's like, I don't want to get my foot pads all covered in human goo.
Oh,
This is like Estes Park.
humans.
Nature is healing.
All right. I like it. Look at the
Estes
rack
Park,
on that one all the way to the
Colorado.
right. Yeah. Look at that. Beautiful.
What
Check-
did you say?
Check this out. This is what they do.
They
That's
just sit in
awesome.
the park. Yeah.
you
Here,
just
they're
walk by 'em.
the hunters salivate over racks like that.
They
It's a sickening.
Oh
They just
yeah, you'd
kill
go to
them.
jail for a long time if you fucked with
Well, there's a
those.
hunting season in Colorado. Obviously.
Yeah, but it's
Mm.
very specific where you can, like, if you're one step
York is-
over the line of where you're allowed to do it, you go
Yeah.
to jail.
Well,
Like,
New
if you
York is like that.
accidentally kill a
Mhm.
goose in Colorado, like with your car, you're in trouble. Isn't that nuts? I mean, it's good. That's great. But like the geese are everywhere. And so if they're just
Yeah.
like crossing the street and you hit one,
Yeah, there's a lot of geese.
I
up
You gotta
sure
hit
hope
and run.
they're very chill about the enforcement of that though, because
they're not.
there's many a goose that has
revenue.
flown directly into a car.
Cooked
That's
no
different.
reason.
Yeah, that's a little different. But
I think if you're getting into a car, you're automatically the villain. I don't care.
I had
The
to do
goose
it
is trying
today
to
too,
navigate
Andrea.
this environment.
I had to do it today. I
Oh,
had
no.
to go.
What did you do?
go to Buffalo in the car, back and forth.
Oh, no.
That stupid 3-hour round trip.
Not to Buffalo of all places.
Oh no, I love Buffalo. And the trees are blooming there where they're not down here yet. We're a little colder.
Those fucking trees.
Beautiful. Yeah, I got some pictures. And plus, I've been doing this dead mall thing and going into dead malls and filming. So a video
Are
eventually.
you allowed in, like abandoned,
Yeah,
or just like
they're
no one goes
open.
there, but they're open?
No, they're
Okay.
dead malls. There's nothing in there. The stores are all gone.
Oh,
And
okay,
I
but
went
you can
into
just walk
another one.
in.
Yeah, I went into
Yeah, I
another
love
one
that
today.
kind of stuff.
I
That's
filmed.
creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy, but I'm going to make a little documentary and I share it on Reddit. Has dead malls, our dead malls.
How
Did you-
difficult
I
Places
get
would
into
it be?
stupid shit. I don't know why.
do you reckon
That's
to
cool.
turn a mall into like all the
Yes.
stores that are now
Correct.
empty into actual
Yes.
livable housing?
Yep.
Some
all in.
people talk about this
50-50
because
partners.
of the
Let's do it.
resources. Yeah, but they would
Mhm.
rather hear all those resources be knocked down. I mean, there is so much that glass.
So let's
you know,
fix. Let's
natural
stay on the main point. Where's the
Yeah.
difficulty? How like does
I
anybody
don't
have
know.
a sense?
Zoning and then construction. But I'm sure since the guts are there, they could
Well,
be all
that's
just
the good part. It's already
apartments.
been constructed.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of it.
perfect. I love that idea.
Presumably they already have a bathroom, but you'd have to add a kitchen equivalent to all of them. You'd need ventilation to
Yeah.
properly get rid of whatever buildup there is
Mhm.
from just life.
Absolutely can be done.
Yeah, it can be done.
They do it
Do
to
you-
schools.
Do you guys remember
Point.
they were renovating an old mall and they knocked down a wall and found a perfectly preserved Burger King?
No.
Do you remember
No.
this?
No.
Check it out. Yeah, this shit is awesome, man. This is
perfectly
killer. Look
Do you
at
have
this.
the link
Burger.
already? I gotta see. Oh hell yeah! What the hell?
Oh,
Yeah.
What?
So they closed it up and nobody ever used that space in the mall. And then it was emptied and it was like this. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like a time
Wow.
capsule.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
1970s, isn't it?
Yeah, or like
1970s.
80s
Well,
or
that
something.
feels like
yeah.
my childhood. I'm
Early-
gonna say that's early '90s.
Oh, really? I don't know. Yeah,
I think
maybe.
so.
It's ugly.
Crazy though, right? Isn't that neat?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the
but look-
fake plants make it.
Yeah.
It
That's the best
matches
part.
Carlos's mic cover, the blue.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It does.
It's exactly the same color.
Yeah, but your mic is not ugly. The
Just
chair
imagine
is.
being the person who knocked that down and you were like,
Oh,
well, it would be like
Treasure
discovering
trove.
treasure. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
treasure, right? That's kind of cool.
It's like
But like
Tutankhamun.
likewise, there's somebody out there going, shit, we just built a wall instead of demolishing that place to like go home early one day. And now they know like
40 years later. All right. I
Somebody-
wouldn't
somebody
sweat it.
did the math and was like, Bill Smith, right?
I
Like that was the
wouldn't sweat it.
fucking guy who was supposed to demolish that Burger King and didn't.
I gotta tell you, I understand. There's more than one property in Detroit that once upon a time I was the guy responsible for like fixing up because it's been
Really?
foreclosed on. I felt bad I left that industry, but like you get to the end of the day, you get an opportunity to just build a wall in front of something
Yeah.
rather than deal with it.
Yeah.
You're gonna not because you're a bad person.
Right.
You are a bad person. but
You're
not
an
because
efficient
you're a
person.
dog.
You're overworked, really.
Yes, that's
It's your
li-
boss's
truly
fault.
what it is.
Well, it was
that
really, if the space
you're
wasn't
delirious.
used and you just put, it's not using resources. So actually, that's not a bad thing they did.
I will
dug
say
up-
this though, speaking earnestly, probably the mindset of the crew that did that is, well, somebody who makes money off this must be keeping track of this because I would be if I was making money off this space.
Mm-hmm.
And if they need it, they'll open up the wall. I'm sure that's what they were thinking.
Yeah.
There was so
Mm.
the main street in my hometown, Annapolis, Maryland, is brick.
Mhm.
So when they finally decided, okay, these bricks are fucked, we got to redo all this. It was like it was a job, you know, like that's a lot of bricks.
Yeah. It's
Th-
old.
And so it took
I'd
a
say
while.
fuck it. I say make a new road somewhere else. Keep the original brick. Let them there. Walk only.
Why couldn't
Shut
they
the road down.
just
You just
clean them
couldn't.
up?
You couldn't drive it anymore because
really?
like
Yeah,
the
good.
way the
Shut it
earth
down.
shifts
Cars
and
don't
stuff,
belong
the
there
bricks
either
were
way.
all fucked.
Get rid of 'em.
Okay, but they could have used a material that would have leveled it out
No,
and made it look.
it's historic
guess not.
colonial downtown
Yeah.
Well, it's not
Annapolis. Like,
historic
it gotta be
anymore. They're
brick.
getting rid of the bricks. They're putting
So-
new bricks in.
well,
are
now
new
those-
bricks.
Now those bricks are like
Well, here's the
almost
question.
50 years old. But
Can you
but they-
get the bricks and like stash them in your basement? You just
yeah,
collect
I
the bricks
think
now.
people did that. I have
They were
I have
stealing the bricks.
I have soil from I have a jar of soil from the hospital I was born in when
Yeah,
they tore
Orb.
it down. But they
Wait, can
found a
you
body
elaborate,
under
please?
there.
Hi, Orb.
Hold
Huh?
on. You have a jar of soil.
They tore down the Anne Arundel Community Hospital, and I got a jar of soil from there for my 40th birthday.
But
I
what's
think
the
that's charming.
significance of the
Okay.
Yeah, my
hospital?
wife got me 40.
were
She
born
got
there?
all my friends and family to get me 40 things representing different years of my life.
Oh wow!
And my brother
Uh,
jumped the fucking fence in the construction site and scooped up some of the dirt.
Okay.
So that was
makes
year
sense.
one.
You're
Good man.
spoiled. That,
It
that I
doesn't
mean,
make
that was
sense
very
in
nice. of you to
Literally
do.
any
Body?
other context. Like that's the only thing you could have said where this makes sense.
I know,
Yeah.
right? So they found a body under the main street, like a skeleton.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, and like
Wonder
this
how old
was
it was.
colonial,
Yeah.
right? And so they
Wow. In
everyone right
Annapolis.
away was like Jimmy Hoffa. Like, it's stupid.
In
But they were
Annapolis.
like,
that's
no,
where
it's
my mind
older than
went.
that. But it was older than that. So
Basically every new building with cement foundation laid, I assume that the local
Yep.
gangsters tossed
Correct.
their bodies in. Like, finally, we've been
Absolutely.
waiting for
was-
new construction for so
Absolutely.
long.
it was
Dang.
a
I would.
worker.
If I,
I
had
think-
gangster
I think it was
bodies,
a
that's where
worker.
I would put them in.
It was one of the
If
guys
I
who
die
made
on a
the road.
construction site, I do not want them to dig me out, and I do want them to try to toss stuff onto my corpse before they bury it in to make it look really weird to people that dig it up later.
That's the thing. It's
No,
like a
no.
time capsule. Like, like people,
Yeah.
like, it's like people like 5,000 years from now when they're going to analyze the ruins of whatever this is called,
Andrea,
the civilization.
People,
They're going to say, why were
5,000
these people encased in the concrete? They must have been really special. They must have been kings and pharaohs. And in
Worshipped
reality,
by these Italian folks.
sometimes,
That
In
was good.
reality.
Yeah, in reality, they were just bricklayers.
Are you able to pull up that Burger King one more time? Because there's something
Bring it
I'd
up
like
there.
to
The floor.
point out. How long do we think this was there for? Just random guesses. I think since the 90s. Sandy, do you still think like 70s?
1994.
Well, 39, 38 years, 30 plus years.
How about you, sir? If you had to guess.
I mean, it does
30
look
years.
like from the 90s.
90s, you
I-
think?
I
am
enjoy
from-
that Jake looked over at Carlos like it's
I-
the
Not the
Brady Bunch.
80s,
That's
huh?
good.
I think
So
it was,
imagine.
I want to say
Oh, yeah,
30
we're all in a room
years.
together.
Yeah.
So imagine where, hey, buddy. So
Cool.
imagine
Wait, it's the other way.
1988.
the
All right, let's see it.
shot of this room,
Okay.
and now imagine somebody
Yeah,
that
it
you
looks
actually
80s.
passed, that you actually walked by on a cold night, who you knew wasn't going anywhere. It's a city street. You walked right past them, and you
Oh.
knew they were hunkering down to try to endure that night.
Sitting in there.
Imagine a
Mhm.
shot of that person and then a shot of this empty space that the owner didn't even
Yeah.
know about. They have
Right.
so much extra
So annoying.
excess land. Imagine that every night
Yeah.
for 30 years. And then super fast in your head, people freezing to death on the street. Their last day
Yeah.
ends in agony and sorrow and shame on the street. All we would have had to do is unlock the door.
Open
here
the
and
door.
let them in.
You're very
Yeah,
that's all it
thoughtful.
is.
They're
There's
being
a lot
arrested.
of thoughtful
Boom,
things
boom,
that could be
boom,
done.
That.
So
And
many.
I bet you could
That.
smoke in there too.
30 years.
Remember, you could
This is
smoke
the
in Burger King?
society we live in. This is the
No, I didn't
conscious
smoke.
choice we make every.
It's
single day.
I like when people
true.
to take what Jake is saying into a more gruesome direction. Like people always think about like the ancient civilizations that would like sacrifice people on the top of the pyramid. Like, oh, they're so barbaric. These guys are crazy. Like we're over here sacrificing people for
sacrifice like this.
way dumber reasons. We're sacrificing people so
Well,
that Jeff Bezos can get an extra
humanity.
fucking $9,000 T-shirt.
We
We're
haven't changed.
sacrificing people so that Elon Musk can fly around in his private jet. I'd rather be sacrificed for some ancient like Mayan god than whatever the fuck capitalism is doing.
And instead of having the courage to turn and look at it and cheer and participate in the murder, we just
Yeah,
do this
true.
and walk a little faster till
Yep,
they're out
yep.
of sight.
Oh my god.
That's why I love to cheer on the murder. When innocent and poor people die, I cheer right on because that's what Jake wants. Jake wants us to cheer.
Yes, that's the
what I used to do.
takeaway.
When I was doing Above It All, I would do every time there was a mass shooting, I would do a celebration. That was my thing.
Oh,
So I love to celebrate mass shootings. You know,
Yeah, the
as an
absurdity.
American, it's like it's my 4th of July. Every time there's a school shooting, I pop a beer. I I chill the fuck out. I'm like, yes, there's less Americans in this
It's-
world.
We
That's a
we are
fact.
at an indecent proposal time, or a modest
You
proposal.
sound like such a goddamn doomer.
Huh?
Well, this is worth serious consideration. Like we're at the point where absurdity like that is necessary to make people address this, because literally that Burger King, as somebody pointed out, it could have been from the 2000s, maybe it was earlier. About my whole life, that
Yeah.
is getting empty, and I cannot tell you how many people I walked past on the street who I knew were going to spend a night on the street.
On the street. Mm-hmm.
That is all of our lives. Every moment of all of our lives, we've been just trained to accept an unnecessary evil, and it's
Many
may
of
this
them,
be the
Jake.
beginning of the end for that.
It's pretty
Many of
awesome,
them.
really.
I
I
love
mean,
do-
it's
I
true.
like taking a low mood and then just holding it under the water.
Yeah,
and
well, this
bubble
is
wrap.
this is Brown Jake for you, folks.
I
This is
mean,
what we call
it's
Brown Jake's it. Mm.
Yes, Carlos.
it's just reality, right? Like there's no other way of going about it. It's just what's happening.
Well, there are other ways, but you know, folks,
We're a little too
folks
lazy to do
probably
anything about
in this chat are not generally the problem. However, I would say if you
Right.
find any of these arguments really twist your guts, repeat them to people who are the problem.
That's
Repeat
true.
them to the comfortable liberals and the casual conservatives.
Thanks. I'm glad you pointed that out. I cannot tell you how many times I'm sitting here railing on something for the benefit of people not in the chat. And
Yeah.
somebody in the chat is like, dude, we know this. And I'm like, I'm obviously not talking to you. I know you're way more switched on than the average American.
I love
Yeah,
that, like, dude, we know
definitely.
this.
They're with
Well, yeah,
us.
You're the one watching every fucking goddamn
This is-
political
we want-
YouTube video.
This
You
is how we will
subscribe
talk
it.
to everybody
You're
else.
like, give me a break. Yeah, we know this. Okay, go watch something that's not the letter hack then, since you're so goddamn smart. You know, like Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Well, there is a
I have
first
so much
Yeah.
fun with the fucking
Goddamn,
chat.
light a cigarette.
I'm
Ah.
really good. I've gotten really good. We were talking about reading the chat earlier. I've gotten really, really good at, like, I'm talking to a guest, right? I see something in the chat, a mid-sentence, like, question, and I work what I just saw in the chat into the question.
Oh,
Like, I've
that's
gotten
pretty
really good at that.
Yeah.
So
That's
that means
advanced.
it's easy to exploit because you can't think about it too deeply. So we could say some horseshit garbage and then you're gonna wheel it into your question.
No, this isn't Ron Burgundy that says whatever's on the teleprompter, no
Are
matter
you
what.
sure? I mean, that's what it sounds
It's
like.
just me seeing
Matt,
something that
You
makes
said I got
my
really
point
good at looking
richer.
at the chat and stealing their questions
No,
for my
it's
interview. guys.
creative because then the person in the chat
Thank you,
feels
Sandy.
special
you.
because Matt noticed that they made some kind of pretty cool comment.
No, because they
That's
don't
all
say like,
about
"Oh,
make-
we have a question from the chat." They're just gonna think, "Oh, Matt's really smart," and so like wow, they
can't
came
win.
up with the same thing I did.
Oh, we can't win.
There is a youth.
There we go.
Okay, we're little. We got Big Matt back.
There is
It feels a little cramped in here.
Oh, look, he's
I
ringing.
can't hear you
his
guys.
bell.
What?
Oh,
No.
bro.
Can't hear you anymore.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
shit.
Whoa.
What is that?
Oh, we were
This
just
is where we
divided
all
into
like-
teams. Look at
Oh,
Oh
that.
Guys,
man,
Come back over here. What?
you know what? It would be really fun to
That's
do a
cool.
layout where
Yeah.
we're on different sides of an issue and we're allowed to change our minds.
Oh, yeah.
throughout, and we are literally put like that. That would
Okay.
be fun.
Matt has to run it though, because he's running it, but he'd have to know when to move the box. That's
Oh,
funny.
I mean, we'd have to be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Put me over there. I'm going with the difficult
Go
truth.
Change sides. You know what?
That's
You changed
cute.
my mind. And then, yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, maybe StreamYard will catch up to your genius one day, but not yet.
Right?
I mean,
It should
we could
just
do
be
it with the layouts.
by
We
voice.
would just have to manually drag them over. We have
I
to
don't
think of a
know-
thing where
Possible.
we're allowed to.
I'm
It
not
ain't
sure if this is a
channel.
compliment, but I like this comment. I don't know if
I like
that's a good thing.
Oh,
Is somebody Renegade? Is he talking to Renegade in the chat, or did someone name Renegade diss
Mom, we're
me?
all
And
geniuses.
you
Nobody
and the rest.
dissed you. Stop it. No.
Andrea did.
Oh,
Andrea dissed me.
Andrea, this is
Yeah, well,
everybody.
that's.
God
I'm
sake,
just
you're
trying to
just-
keep this is a letter hack controlled show.
It's very
so I'm
in
just trying to
character,
speak
I
truth
Yes,
to
think.
power here.
Yeah, she's in character.
Hear me out.
Yes.
I think the left needs, like you were joking about a Ron Burgundy type. I do think the left, like as the Hulk, we need a moron, like to be
Are
on
you
the left.
volunteering, Jake?
I'll do it.
Would
I'll
you
do
just, if I wrote anything and would you just be the news person? Just read whatever I say?
I would honestly just for funsies, but I
You're
feel
an
like I would.
actor.
Instead
You
of
could do
the
it.
Hulk, I would just be an angry green guy, like none of the super strength. I'd just be like, Hulk.
Yeah, Jake was in what was that? The Superman movie? You were in a Superman movie?
I was.
Did you know
I
that,
was.
Carlos? This guy was in
Nope.
a movie.
And
Superman.
the
what was
most
it?
And
one
commercial.
of the most hurtful moments of my life was when a bunch of really supportive fellow amateur actors, when everybody was talking about how Ben Affleck got like embarrassingly fat and like, are they gonna fire him? That he can't be Batman like this. Right at that moment, a bunch of people came around and said, like, you should be his stand-in. Or when
Right.
they have to set up the
You look
scenes,
like
but
him.
they can't have the actor there. You should do that because you're sort of
Affleckish.
like they never said it. They're like, how he's got lately. You should do that.
And they said to
Oh.
you that?
You like
Oh, you
donuts?
Wait, they were telling
Yeah,
you
they
you
were
looked
basically
heavy?
like you.
They told
You're
you
husky.
you looked heavy. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking just like, hey, you look like him.
So every
But
time
no,
I
'cause it was
watch
just for standing
Superman,
where he
what
would
was
need
it?
to be.
Superman
I
versus
know.
the Dawn or some shit? I don't know.
Batman. They
Dawn
did it
of
like a Supreme
Justice.
Court case, which would have been, I think, way more interesting. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And until the day it came out, I thought it was going to be a masterpiece.
That
On
is
set,
funny.
I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be so good." I just saw Jesse Eisenberg feed somebody a candy, and it was creepy. And then I saw the movie, and I was just quietly like,
I can't wait to watch it for
That's funny.
my 9,000th watch. I've seen it 17 times. I like pausing on all the frames where Jake is visible. Every
The
time I
Doom
watch it,
in
I find a new
LexCorp?
frame.
Do you guys like the Burbs?
I've actually
too?
never seen it, but I will see it at some point.
useless.
And by the way, I like that
what?
movie. But do you like the Burbs? Have you seen that?
Herbs.
Tom Hanks, Bruce
Oh,
Stern.
yeah.
Oh,
This is
God,
like
a
the
long time
19th time
ago.
we've talked. We had this conversation so long ago. Like the first time we had this conversation, I hadn't seen the movie yet. Then I've seen it, and then we had the conversation again. Then about 7 more times, and then here we are tonight.
Oh.
I'm going on movie night extravaganza next Tuesday to talk about.
Oh,
The
so you
Burbs.
got to study up your. Just one movie.
Not
Okay.
not a problem. I'm studied.
The
I
Burbs.
obsess
Okay.
over that movie for years.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's by the guy that directed
Feldman.
Gremlins 1 and 2.
That makes a
do
lot of
enjoy
sense,
Gremlins.
actually.
Bruce Stern, R.I.P.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bruce
he was
Dern
great.
is the man. There's nobody under 30 that knows who he is, or nobody under 35.
I'm
Yeah.
as a
Henry
28-year-old,
R.I.P.
I'm afraid I do not know who they are.
Yeah.
They're dead. Carrie Fisher,
Wait.
like half the goddamn people in it are dead. Like half my friends.
That's super sad.
It's one of Corey
No,
Feldman's
it's life.
best movies.
It's just a passage
got-
in life. We have
You
to
got
accept that.
Stand By
Tom
Me,
Hanks is fine.
Goonies, Stand By Me, Goonies, Lost Boys, Burbs. That's the
Burbs.
4 top Corey Feldman movies right
Yeah.
there. And that
I was gonna
Burbs-
say, what are we measuring here?
some people
All right.
say Meatballs 3, but like that the Burbs, man, if he had never done anything again after that, people would have been like, Corey Feldman was a fucking genius. But
That's true. Like Oprah only did The Color Purple, and I don't know if she did much else. And she's gonna go down as like a great, great actress on
Actress
top
for
of
that.
everything else.
who?
That might be the wise move.
Oprah.
Oh, yeah.
Oprah.
I
She
mean,
picked the role, and the role picked her.
I
Oh, yeah.
say, am I allowed? I fucking despise Oprah. Like, even since I was a child, every time I'd see that fucking person on TV, the
It's
fakeness.
Oprah.
She's always pretending to be like this fucking like super fun energy. Like, it's so fake. I like as a
You
kid.
think?
Maybe this
What
is
did-
the
does
autism
she-
speaking. I just like one of the weirdest people on TV I've ever seen.
Is that why
Have
she
people-
never
so
got
Very
the
Tom
attention?
Cruise like.
oh, really?
Ugh.
Have people talked about like how she is behind the scene? I've never heard any negative things.
I
like,
don't know.
oh,
All I
in
know
real
is
life.
she just feels like
Wait, she was in the
she was
movie.
at the fucking DNC. Does anyone remember that shit? The fucking
Nope.
convention. Why
Yeah.
the fuck was she there? And she was giving.
They were saying she was going to
joy
run at one
and
point.
Because-
joy,
remember?
and we
Because-
love joy. Shut the
Because
fuck up.
she's a very wealthy
Jesus.
celebrity, Andrea.
Let-
At
That's
one
me-
point,
fucking
they said she was
hate
going to
gay.
run.
Clarify.
Hate
I
them all.
feel specifically like she tries. I said she was Tom Cruise. Like I feel like she tries to be like she's very
Yeah, Dr.
candid.
Phil.
That's what
Ugh.
she's going for.
Ah,
The problem is
She's
she's
so
way too
scripted.
candid. She's way too comfortable sharing like excruciating details about things. And that is a little creepy. It is like, ooh, you're
Yeah, she's-
you're a different kind of person than regular
Oprah.
folks. You're the sort that's gonna have $2 billion very shortly.
She's not on my radar at all.
no,
She-
me neither.
Whatever. Honestly,
I saw her
there's
at the
so many
Whoa,
DNC, and
way
that was like
ahead
the
of her
first time
time.
I'd seen Oprah like since I was a child, and it reignited my rage for this
I
fucking.
didn't.
always
When I
Sally
was
Jesse
younger,
Raphael guy.
black-eyed
I
fucking-
did not like her. I didn't really watch her show with any regularity, but I never didn't like her. But then
As a
It-
Phil Donahue guy myself.
that's that's
wasn't he married to that girl?
what is that?
I was a Ricky Lake guy myself.
Ricky Lake.
You know
Oh,
what?
God.
I was a
talk
Ricky Lake
shows.
guy too, but she was a little. Look, I'm not trying to be too
Ricky
gross.
Lake.
I am trying to be a little gross. Ricky Lake was a little foxy, a little
Yeah,
bit.
I saw her recently on something. She's doing fine
Foxy
in life.
lady.
Doing fine in
I was
life.
always kind of a Maury Povich
Ricky
guy
Lake.
myself.
More. All right,
Well,
we're getting
Maury's the champion,
not Jerry Springer.
not Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer is fun, but Maury was like
Jerry.
Jerry Springer
like-
ruined our society. If you
Yeah,
think
I
about it,
don't like. I don't.
yeah, he was a
I
heavy
don't
hand in ruining our
Jerry
society.
and
any
Rush
of these
Limbaugh.
TV fucking shows. I don't
Rush,
get it.
Rush Limbaugh ruined our society right along.
This
What do
you
people
are
watch
young.
these
Springer.
things for? What are you watching this fucking daytime garbage for?
Once
So
upon a
it's
time,
vacuous
that was it.
nonsense.
Yeah, because
were
there was
either
no
watching
internet,
it
Andrea.
Internet.
They
Yeah.
gave us Dr. Oz for
What do you
Christ's
want us to
sake.
do? Read?
Andrea.
Yeah, I want you to fucking
Andrea.
read instead of watching these shit ass Dr.
Andrea.
Phil Oprah
Honey.
fucking garbage.
Andrea, channel your older Andrea and put yourself back in our space when we had nothing. We had
you're
nothing.
getting ready for work.
That's all.
It's
Turn
the
on the
morning, you're
TV
getting
and-
ready
Turn on the
for work.
radio.
Listen, I'm
Yeah, you could do the
prehistoric.
radio, or
You
you,
didn't
could
have
see
a- you didn't
pictures
have a
like a civilized
VCR?
human being.
Watch the same episode of Scooby Doo on loop 50 times. Like, what the fuck?
The funny thing is,
we do. How are
the
you
funny
finding out?
thing is,
Buy the VHS? Has it come
Damn
out
right.
yet?
radio was very familiar. I mean, it was like Rush Limbaugh was huge on radio.
Yep.
Oh,
He was
back then.
just the
Oof.
worst. He
Awful.
really started the right wing hate radio shit. I remember it. You know,
Is this bad,
we had
by the way?
what?
Are we all just doing what's going to be considered the next Rush Limbaugh or daytime TV?
None
it
of
is?
not
Yes,
my
that's
channel.
exactly what we're doing, and we're gonna
No,
do it
it's
better this
not.
time. Believe us.
We're going to
this
actually
time
end
I'm in charge.
civilization and
All
not
right,
be
yeah,
messing
yeah.
This is
around.
no longer a letter hat controlled show. This is an
Oh,
Andrea
blast
controlled
the
show,
earth.
and you know what?
Oh,
Fuck
Be
them.
done
We're
with
gonna
it.
do it the best. No one will ever be able to do this ever again because we will have set the bar so goddamn high you can't even possibly do another show like this.
True.
Crossing the
No, I mean, we're not.
It's a difficult truth to swallow, but it's true.
Rush Limbaugh was conservative audio capture. He wrote books that appealed to Christian Republicans, like actual Christian
We have to
conservatives.
hear about Rush Limbaugh.
And it was just, well, okay, we could change the subject because
It's okay. I just have bad
There's-
remembrances.
but like, because I was raised that way, so I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a Republican. And then there's one thing that I'm still very much like, I don't see why this is a problem. And it's boarding schools. Because where else
Well,
are
are we getting
surfers
into a
supposed to
political-
learn?
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. I was about to debate you on boarding schools, but then you just pull that one.
Yeah, I knew he was pulling one.
Yeah.
You know why libraries are so tall?
No, I don't. Please tell me why libraries are so tall. Please.
Libraries are so tall because they have so many stories.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Matt's getting tired. I can tell. Yeah. He had a long day.
We
People
need that
say-
sound bit.
Yeah. People say
Oh yeah.
that
Jake.
purple isn't a color. But did you know that the wind has a color?
Okay.
Blue.
Blue.
I mean,
The wind.
accurate.
The wind cries Mary.
How much of BBL Drizzy do you reckon we could play before we all got a copyright strike?
Right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I played like 2 seconds of Akira on live stream the other night. I'm just waiting. I took the
Oh.
sound out. I considered flipping it, but I couldn't figure out how to do it.
Akira,
Ooh, now
like
that's the
the
funny
anime?
part. You
Yeah.
considered flipping it, and how much time did you invest into this consideration before you
I
decided to
googled
just
it
jump
and
ship?
couldn't find an answer. But
You
I-
googled it, so this is how Google is destroying art
Yeah.
and progress is by
So,
destroying the search engine, stopping
read-
people like Letterhack in their tracks. I'm
I
sorry.
had a religious
Experience.
like a biblical historian on the show interviewing them about their side interest, which is the power of cute and soft power. It's like propaganda, right? And they were writing about how Pikachu keeps showing up at people in Pikachu costumes keep showing up at protest, right? And they talk all about cute. And I've been doing segments on cute power and just talking about advertising and propaganda and all that.
Yep.
And so I was reading this article about how the atom bomb affected, like, inspired anime and manga.
Oh yeah, big time.
And like everything is
I
like
have-
real cute, cool stuff is all.
I have talked
Most
about
of what-
this.
Yeah.
oh,
I have
yeah.
So,
separately and independently come up with this theory.
so I was trying to show the big bomb that
Hmm.
goes off in Akira where the clouds are circling, and
Right.
but I just wanted to show enough so it would be like, because the guy's talking, he's describing it in the article, and wanted to show it while I was reading it to give people the idea. But I knew, man, that
All right. You
They're
took the
coming for it?
sound out and you still got what'd you
I
get?
didn't. I'm just waiting
Oh,
for the
oh.
strike. I
Yeah.
pieced it
Well,
together.
maybe it won't be a strike. Sometimes they do allow you to use it. They say it's a copyright, and then they say the creator
Like
allows
fair
you to use
use.
it.
It was
Yeah.
for critical
Yeah,
purposes.
Yeah.
this new intro I just made, I'm using a song, and the woman, it's copyright, but if there's monetization, it's only 58 seconds. She shares it with me, which is very cool. Way cool. So
Damn, does anyone here
she'll
remember
get
when you could just
49
upload shit
cents, and I'll get
and not worry
49
about
cents.
that? This fucking
Well, yeah.
copyright, this fucking all this horse shit.
Too
And then
true.
you can fucking you can
But
just
you
like make
still-
a fucking stupid like low effort like fucking 5-second song and then just like fucking put it in the copyright system, and then YouTube's shitty AI will think it applies to videos from 8 years ago before you even thought of doing this fucking shithole scam. What a terrible website.
On this show, I showed a Macho Man Randy Savage GIF. It was like a 2-second thing of him going, "I'm all alone now." You know, it was like
Yeah.
it was
GIF, for
funny.
Christ's sake, yeah.
And then we were told by YouTube that none of us could show our video in Kazakhstan or something. And I was
Oh,
like,
what? I get all
Sucks.
this kind of shit.
They've had
all the time.
enough of that guy. They're
know
like,
what?
we don't even want to risk seeing
I
you.
Then-
get this garbage.
But you
and
know
I
what? Honestly,
ignore
I
it.
get that. I understand.
Well, David Dole was on the show the next week, and I really confused the shit out of
It's
him
in
because I
Kazakhstan.
started our show with an apology, a fake apology I was giving to the people of Kazakhstan
Kazakhstan, yes. Mhm.
or
You had
wherever
David
it was,
Dole on?
Kazakhstan. Yeah, but yeah, and I remember when we finally all came up on screen, David Dole was like, "What was?"
What was that?
Wasn't ready.
That's
Dude,
funny.
I just thought it was funny as shit.
Oh,
I was like,
God.
I'm glad he's confused. And that was awesome because we were all taking bets because David was like, yeah, I can come on for like a half hour. It's late. It's midweek. I'm going to a concert the night before or something. He's like, I'll only be on for a half hour. And we were like, he'll stay. A half hour in, he'll stay. And he did. And I remember we all kind of looked at each other like, oh, yeah. Anyway, John Idarola did that to me. He said, I've only got a half hour. And I was like, okay, we'll just see how it goes. And that's back when I didn't do anything after the guest. So if he was on for a half hour, I was just going to call it. And this is 2 nights after I had on, was it 8 or 10 of the mods who had all just walked out on TYT like that Friday before.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah.
Is that
And that was like
all
a
still
thing.
going on? Is that all still going on? I've not
Yeah.
kept up with it.
But I was
don't
like,
keep
John,
up with
you
all
know,
that.
I had all those mods on the show. Your name came up. I mean, just full
Get ready
transparency, and
for
he-
a wave. Sorry, I thought that was the.
Oh no, but he was cool. He came on. He stayed for well over. He and I talked for like 45 minutes after the show.
First of all, that's amazing. Way to disarm. Second of all, I would suspect we're about to get a massively. I know we're already getting a different version of TYT, but the people who had character who would have dropped off applications a year ago obviously are not anymore. So all of the voices that would have done things like mask walk out when they do insane stuff aren't going to be there anymore. And I'm just ready to watch this thing spiral into oblivion.
Oh,
I-
it's gonna be really fun
not-
to watch. Yeah.
Here, I won't go into detail, but I have recent correspondence with someone at TYT. And I was just asking a question. And the very last thing this isn't anybody anyone would know, I don't think. But like the very last thing they said was, let me know if you have any further questions. I'd be glad to loop in our attorneys.
Oh.
And I didn't reply, but I was like, okay, what is that like? You trying to intimidate me or something? I was just asking you questions, but
That's weird.
nah, kinda. I mean, I'm not
Like,
telling you
It's
the whole
weirdly
story, but
defensive. Like,
Okay.
why are you mentioning attorneys at all? Like, that's just a weird thing to do. Yeah.
it's just the kind of thing that I think if I just say that part, people
right.
will speculate endlessly.
I
That's
think I'm gonna
funny.
have to ask my team about this speculation here because this is just not acceptable.
Speculum? Speculation.
It was just one of those things where I was like, man, can you talk to these guys anymore without that kind of jazz? But whatever.
Can we tell Piper it's the Young Turks? It's a network. She should know what
I
the
believe
Young
the
Turks
Young
are.
No,
Turks
just
was,
stay blissfully unaware. My
I think
God.
Yeah.
it's what
You
was it?
lucky, lucky person.
Like an armed organization of some kind.
It was. Did you see Bill Maher met with
Oh.
Trump and then said this whole thing? Do you guys know about this? And said this
Yeah.
whole like
Yeah.
not that bad.
What an
And then
asshole.
Larry
talk Mark.
David, and then
Yeah,
Larry
Larry
David
David made up.
put out the like
Oh, yeah.
wrote a piece about how he had dinner with Hitler, and turns out he's not that bad of a guy, and it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
And then Cenk Uygur chastised Larry David for it.
Of course.
Oh,
Of
James
course.
No,
Uygur.
right?
Of course he did.
Of
I know.
course.
He's
That-
like,
that-
Larry, come
I
on, you don't
didn't
have to
see
do that.
that.
And we're
Like
like, are you fucking
completely
Why
missed the
not?
point.
Why not?
Okay, have you seen
Jeez.
the video? There's an interview with Trump. Somebody had like finger tattoos. And
Oh,
they were
yeah, yeah,
saying
yeah.
that it was MS-13
Mhm.
tattoo.
I saw
And
that.
I was dying. The way they
It's fake.
photoshopped MS-13
Yep.
over the tattoos
Yep.
to show you how it spells it out. Well, Trump's doing an interview and he says, no, do you see the guy? He had the
Be a lot
tattoo.
easier if you
Said
just said
MS
yes.
It said MS-13, and the guy's like,
Trump is
It
arguing
didn't
with the
actually, but
news
we can
guy.
move on from that. He goes, no, we can't move on. It did. Trump thought the photoshopped explanation
He's a
was
fucking
the
idiot.
actual tattoo. I have watched that clip like 3 dozen. I was sitting.
Clueless moron.
You guys know that I was kind of isolated today, and I was just sitting there on my phone watching this thing over and over again,
Horrible.
dying. Like,
Everybody,
this
we
fucking
here's-
idiot.
I'm
all the
beyond
channels
laughing at it.
report
I
it.
can't because like he's
Terrible.
just pressuring him. He won't let him move on. He's like, no, you
Well,
have to
It's
agree.
so
Right.
cringe.
You
get
have to
clarity.
agree.
I hear-
2 +
I
2
hear
equals
this-
5.
and-
Like, why don't
This
you
is
just
very
say it?
dangerous to me. I hear this all the time. Like, Trump's so dumb he didn't get that
No.
that was the Photoshop.
He might
Motherfucker
have.
knows. What are we? What
It's
are we
the
I think
doing?
so.
pressure.
I think he
Oh, I
knows,
don't think
yeah.
that part.
It's the pressure of
I don't think he knew
having
in
to
that
be
moment.
right.
I don't think he knew that. I think he was wrong about that. I think it was
Yeah.
really
I
obvious that he
think
didn't know what he
knows.
was
I
talking
think he
about.
knows that they just made it up, and that's why he's
Yeah.
telling them to agree.
No,
It'd be a lot
Don't-
easier if you
don't-
just agreed.
I
Just say
watched it
yes.
a lot. I get that he's, I think he has 3 rules: attack, deny, claim victory all the time,
Yeah,
no matter
all the
what. And I
time.
think he lives
Yeah.
by that, and he is dumb. But those
you're
things
sitting
like
down-
help him lean into it. But I think in
Maybe.
that
And-
interview, he was wrong.
And
Everybody
a
has
journalist
gone
tells
over
you
that.
you have information incorrect, like something you thought was real is not real, and a journalist tells you that. A person who's interested in being correct at all would inquire some, would say, why are you saying that? Whereas Trump does not at all, because
Right,
it's
yeah.
irrelevant to him.
Just say yes.
Yeah, he'll
Yeah.
never say like I'm wrong. That's exactly it.
I think
Yes,
he would.
and it's
You
the
think he
reason
would
this is
have-
important is because in that gulf of this idiot, that's where people who don't really pay attention will say, yeah, he can be kind of dumb sometimes, but he's well-meaning.
Well, okay. So on that point, I think
Well-meaning.
if anyone is still there, that's on them. They're
Yeah.
the gullible idiot in that case. But
Well-meaning.
I think
People
in
are
this,
realizing-
I think in this moment, Trump is capable of saying, like lying and then just saying people are gonna think I'm dumb, but really it's haha, I'm not. It's the joke's on them. But I think in this moment,
He was. fucked.
my vote is that he was actually
To credit people with
He was
not
fucked.
knowing information that they're supposed to know.
He's
I
either
think
having
is a fault.
cognitive decline or he
That's
was really
right.
wrong about
Well,
it.
here's
and
that.
wouldn't give
That's
in.
an
One of
important
those.
factor that I think may split the difference here. Is that I think that there's a level of Trump. He knows he's bullshitting, but I think that he does believe his own bullshit because he
Yeah.
doesn't keep track of
Right.
things like that intimately on like that kind of like he knows that this is just some illegal alien. Which one? Oh, the one with the fucking MS-13, whatever. That's the story. Like he doesn't
Even then,
actually think about
Is
it.
it an
It's just
illegal
like
alien? Or is it
Because-
just somebody who was born in another country? Is it
Oh,
Yeah, he
they're
doesn't
all
even
illegal
care.
aliens.
Yeah,
It doesn't
he-
matter.
yeah.
They're all
Somebody whose
aliens. They're
parents
all
were born.
illegals. It doesn't matter if they're legal. It doesn't matter if they're terrestrial. They're all
And that's
illegal
my
aliens.
Right.
point.
Guess what? They
is
voted
when you were
today.
summing up what he's just thinking. You were saying,
Yep.
well, he thinks this is just some illegal alien. Again, you're giving him credit for thinking that he might be in the, like, or you. It's like when we put human emotions onto
Mhm.
animals when we're studying them. We
Right.
can't do that.
But yeah,
because
so
it does result in death eventually.
I
Maybe.
think there's more of a distinction to be made because it's like he can be that dumb, but people will think he's lovable dumb, like it's charming or it makes him an everyman. And to me, it's like it just makes him completely fucking unqualified. And people
Yeah.
give him,
I
like
think
you said,
what's-
people
what's
just keep
more
giving him the
important
credit.
Is that Trump isn't actually doing anything? He's not governing.
He
He's not
probably goes to
coming
bed
up
at
with
night going, "How
policy.
the fuck did
It's
I pull that off?
Stephen
Why do
Miller
people think
and
I'm so
it's
great?"
Steve Bannon
Stephen
and
Miller.
it's these like
Wait,
white
wait, wait, wait.
nationalist
Wait,
freaks
wait,
that are
stop.
doing everything.
Stop.
All right.
Steve Bannon is right now not happy. This is what my friend told me today when they were bringing firewood. Debbie's like, Steve Bannon was on today and he's not happy with any of the economic stuff. I'm like, really? You know, she's telling me this stuff. They're not happy. There's fighting in the ranks.
I
It's
disagree.
according
I
to
think you can't trust anything Bannon says publicly. He wants to destabilize the entire world economic order. He's trying to destroy the EU. Like maybe he's not happy with the way it's going at the moment, but I
Because
think
they're ignoring him.
Here's an attitude
not-
I think
They're
that is
not
gonna
letting
be
him run the
important
show.
to
well,
adopt.
Stephen Miller's running
Get
the show.
the
now.
country
Yeah.
back on track. if somebody's responsibility means that they ought to know something, and they're either pretending or actually don't know it, they're lying. And they're lying because they accepted the job, they had a reasonable expectation of knowing what's going on. And if they actually didn't know a thing, well, then they willfully didn't know a thing. And that also goes, when I say responsibility, it goes to who's doing what. Is Stephen Miller actually pulling the levers and making these evil little decisions? Sure, he's there because Trump said he can.
He's
Same thing with Bannon, same thing as everybody else.
he's
Cut the head
whispering
off
in
the snake,
Trump's
and if there's
ear.
another snake head below that, then cut that motherfucker too.
Well, that's the important
Trump
part. Is it isn't just Trump; it's the entire ecosystem.
Right. It's
Yeah,
the
Like
entire-
it doesn't
right
matter
now.
who's at the top.
Michael's
Then
put him
that
in
they'll just like JD Vance will just he'll do the rubber stamp in the same way Trump will, right? So you have to destroy the entire ideology from you know.
I wholeheartedly agree.
How are we going to do it, Carlos?
How?
Yeah, Carlos, answer the fucking
Yeah.
question. How are we
Answer
gonna
the
Yeah,
do
you
it?
get the easy one, Carlos. How do we figure
Yeah.
this out?
How?
How do we do it? I'm not sure. I think like the ways to do it through institutions are slowly being taken away to the point where to resolve this issue, you can't do it through institutions anymore, like courts or like Congress or anything like that. It's getting to the point where none of those institutions are working.
I think it's fair to say we've long passed that point. When they're arresting judges, there is no more
Yeah.
law. The judicial system exists insofar as like we got to send criminals to jail, and it's like janitorial duty, but they
When
don't have
will
any
we lose
power. They don't
our,
have anything.
When will we lose our rights to speak on YouTube freely?
Who
Probably
knows?
we've already lost our right. They're
Well,
just
I
gonna wait
mean-
until they pull the plug. Just collect the list.
YouTube
knows?
will. It would require YouTube caving to demands
Yeah,
without a
right.
challenge,
Like
but
Harvard.
the
even though they
algorithm's
got one.
already the big bad.
Unlike
Do you think that Lindsey Graham thing about his reply to or his response to Trump being the next pope? Do you think that was real, or did people
No.
make that up?
I don't know. Does it like I don't know. it's
When-
it's
We live in bizarre world.
Did you see it? Lindsey Graham's like, I think it's a very exciting
true?
idea that Trump would be the next
Come
Catholic
on.
pope.
It's
and
so
it was like, are
absurd.
you
That
fucking
is
kidding me?
insane.
You know
He's
what?
like,
I'm
it
gonna
would
say
be the
let
first
him.
U.S.
I
president
think Trump
to do
is
it.
the
Oh, really?
It'll
perfect-
never
He's
happen.
a pedophile, rapist. He is the
True.
perfect
Yeah, that's
candidate for a pope.
Gold
This whole
toilet.
like
But he doesn't
nonsense
believe in
about we got a progressive pope. Give me
divinity
a
of
fucking
Christ.
break. Frank Keese was not fucking
Oh my
goddamn
God.
progressive. Like this guy, he's a Catholic. They're all pedophile, rapist enablers. The Pope? Are you kidding me? He could go in any fucking pedophile cabal
Thought it
church
was-
anywhere. He could knock it down and say, "Hey, buddy, this has got to go." And they don't. They don't do that
Couple of
anywhere. Why?
reasons.
Because they don't give a shit.
Trump cannot be pope because Trump is incapable of having any job that requires you to wear a uniform.
He wears a
And
red
also,
and
he would
blue
have
suit.
to acknowledge that he is below God, and I don't think Trump is able to do that.
Yeah, I don't think he does have to acknowledge that. I don't know.
I was
I think they would
excited
just
to
let me
hear.
know. Anyway.
It's like taking a pardon. If you're God's, you're saying you're God's messenger on earth. You know, you're the interpreter of God's laws. You're not the interpreter of your own laws.
Okay.
The first Pope U.S. president combination has many upsides. What a kiss ass.
Yeah.
God.
Trump says
Real happy
I'm
to let
looking
all
at
of his Catholic
Oh, Jesus.
constituents know he thinks very little of their religion.
Yeah, I have been hearing like all this great stuff about the Pope. You know, I read several news outlets every day.
Did
And
he end that
everyone's-
with Trump 2028? By
It's
the
the
way, is that
biggest
what
Yeah,
joke.
and everyone's talking about these, like the Pope did all this great stuff, and I'm like, nobody talked about this when it was happening. Why is it all like
the
post
Pope fucking sucks. It's all PR.
yeah,
it's all
it's just-
stupid
this is
fucking
just for
garbage.
The last
Like
pope
they-
was
like
the
whatever
best
you
pope
say about
we've had
Christianity
in
is one thing, but
centuries.
Catholicism,
Well, the best-
give me a break.
It's
It's a
true.
non-starter.
See, the best Pope was still anti-trans. Like, just
Yeah, give me
they
a
That's a
break.
said-
fact.
they said, "How do you feel about gay marriage?" He's like, "Well, it's not illegal." It's like
Yeah.
he didn't really answer the question.
He really did. He
Yeah.
did not. I mean, are we going to pretend like the Pope before him? You know, the former Nazi youth.
Yeah, they're all
uh,
garbage.
when you say it like that, it undoes the very hard
It's so
work
fucking sick.
that had to be done to get as far as we've gotten.
I
Who's we?
disagree.
The Catholics?
Yeah.
No, I'm not
I
worried
think
about their
that's-
progress. in-
Catholicism is an anchor tied around our goddamn ankle, and we got to swim to the surface. And it's easier just to cut the goddamn anchor off and let it sink. That's what I think. I think any sort of positive PR campaign for the Catholic Church of all organizations is
What's-
only doing us a net disservice. as
Okay,
a
but like,
society.
what do you think? How do you think that works, though? Is it going to be the next pope's going to be even more liberal-minded?
I hope the
or
next pope is a Nazi. I hope he is, because
Like,
he's
it's
going to lay
not-
bare what this whole organization, if you can
But
even call it that,
but there
even
is no like, it only gets better process.
Who's that
It's-
to?
No, but I'm
That's
saying
me.
like, because we had, or yeah, okay, fine,
I
but
don't know who the
anybody,
next
but
pope
like
is
if we had
gonna
a
be.
good pope, quote unquote, then and it was like as good as it has been.
I mean, I
that
think
doesn't
it's
necessarily mean it gets
silly to jump into this game of no one's been
Right.
satisfactory to me yet. So any difference between them is irrelevant.
Well, I don't think
course
it's irrelevant.
I don't
Okay.
even pay attention.
I
Sorry.
think they're all
That's
garbage.
what I'm saying. Like,
I mean,
I'm down to
let me put it like this.
difference for an academic conversation. That's fine. I just think both of them are shit.
I was just
Yeah,
asking,
like
do you
as human
think?
beings, probably. Yeah.
But do you think
like,
the
if you
Catholic
were to
Church
say,
is? Go
of
ahead.
all the dictators in the world in the 1930s, we just went from Hitler to Mussolini for about 8 years. There's no question, like, one of them is better. And we have to do better generally. We got to get way better than dictators. We have a lot of work to do, but definitely one's better.
Yeah,
And we can
so
hope that the next one down is, I don't know, who was a pretty chill dictator, whoever that
Who's a
Italian
pretty
guy
chill
was.
dictator?
well, but this is why this
Yeah,
is what
let's
I'm
get Joey
saying is
Stalin in there. He
this
ain't
is why
so
I'm
bad.
saying
Oh,
like
old Joey.
if you were good, you wouldn't be a dictator. We could go that route, but I think that at the Catholic Church,
While acknowledging there's different levels.
but
Sure.
the Catholic Church isn't about to be like, guys, we really need to build on all the positive stuff of the last pope. I just don't think that's how it works.
No, no,
That's not
I
how they
don't
make
think
the
so. They
call.
make a decision
don't know.
based on seniority and experience and where they've led, because it's a business position
It's
too.
like
I mean,
political.
there's a lot of things.
It's just a big secret
Hiring.
family. That's what it is. It's a
It'd be
fucking
different if
cult.
it was a
It's
democracy.
an ancient
but-
cult that's been
Well,
going on for 2,000
It'll be
years.
all of the bishops and all of the people that are
Oh,
higher up in the Catholic
wait.
Church. It's a money-making organization. They're going to do
cardinals,
this like they're
those
picking a
bastards.
CEO.
Yep.
But that's what it's going to be. That's how it always is. I mean, and I don't pay attention, but I do pay attention, but I don't, you know.
I just think,
believe
like,
if-
who elected these guys? Does anyone know how the Pope process works? Like, you have to be a bishop, then you
just
got to be a bishop
explained
for an
it
amount
to
of
you.
years,
Isn't it
College
then you
of
got to be a
Cardinals.
cardinal, then
It's
there's like
just like a
15 rounds of secret
business.
ballots, and like these
Right.
people
There's a
have
movie out
influence
about
and
it.
power. They're not.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
elected.
gonna say
Fuck
because
them.
I
you
saw the
learn.
movie.
Yeah,
College
what
of
do these
Cardinals.
people have to?
select
Why?
vote.
Why are we listening to the Pope? Who gives a fuck what the Pope has to say? I didn't elect.
Well, I
Millions
was
of
just saying it's
Catholics
funny.
do, Andrea.
Unfortunately,
It's
man.
funny that
Yeah, I
everyone's
know.
all the news outlets are talking about it after the fact, kind of. It's just like, I don't know, if somebody's doing good stuff, talk about it when it's happening. I don't know. Maybe I
No,
just
they
missed
did.
it.
They did talk about the,
But not
Pope
like
Francis.
but like now that he's dead, it's like, here's
Yeah,
and I
this
guess
is
that's
not
typical
strange
when
to me.
somebody dies.
Yeah.
They do like exposés
fuck
saying here's
that.
all the
I
stuff
say-
they did. But
I say when
don't know.
someone dies, you let it loose. These bitches were crazy, man.
I am for that, but it's just not strange the way people are behaving now because there's a tendency to lionize people in the immediate days following, particularly since the people
that's
most
why,
eager to talk about them are the people that love them most.
guys,
And
that's
look,
why
this
if
guy
I
was
go right now, I'm on top. People are gonna be like, he was great. Don't give me a chance to ruin it. Do not give me a chance to fuck this up. I've been thinking this for like a year. If I go out right now, I got a pretty good reputation. Like, I'll be fine.
It's true,
People
you
will be
haven't
like,
fucked
I
it up yet."
remember him being pretty solid.
Yeah.
Well, if I go out right now, it's going to look like this.
Oh,
Oh my god.
You gave him the opening.
I
for
do think
Jason.
though
You gave him
And
the
there
perfect
goes Brown
opening for-
Jake,
Did
everybody.
you guys plan that?
there have been how
planned
is this for you all? Because I think we all come from. I'm gonna guess
I
that we
don't like
come.
being like in this order. Can I?
I think we come from similar walks
Who
of
did you
life,
want
but
to be, Andrea?
maybe not. I wonder though.
Walks
Hold
of
on.
life.
Walk of life.
That
Is
was
there like a moment in your life where, let's say you weren't around anymore, people would say, yeah, they were fun. Anyway, let's move on. And is there a point in your life where you would not be around anymore and people would go, fuck, I miss that person. They were so awesome. Want them back. Because I feel like most of my life has been, he was fun. Anyway, we're alive.
I want people when
let's-
they think about me, primarily after I'm dead. Don't think about me while I'm alive. It's weird. But when I'm dead, I want you to like you just get a whiff of something that reminds you of me, and then the rest of your day is shot. You just can't stop thinking. That's my goal.
People are going to say he was the best letter hack we had to date.
He was the letter
He
hack.
did very progressive
I'm
shit for a letter
closer.
hack.
I'm closer to it than all of
That's
you.
not, nobody's close anymore. You can't do it like that.
I'm
Age
close.
doesn't mean
I'm
close to
really
the
close.
end.
Oh God. You
What do
mean
you
I have
think
to
though,
keep
Sandy?
going?
Have people through your life, have they been like, yeah, she waited the bar at that one strip club. It was awesome.
I have no clue if they even remember me anymore. I mean, I don't know what people will think. I
No,
would
but
like
if
to
that had
think,
been your time during that
back
point in your
then?
life, would they have been
Oh, I
like, yeah,
had
she was a
people
great
that would-
bartender, let's move on? Or would they be
would
like,
miss me.
damn,
They would miss me. Yeah.
yeah.
They missed me when I moved in that time, but people move on naturally. I don't expect to be in anybody's memory for very long because new experiences and new people,
See,
I
you're focused on people your whole life. I've been more focused on good times. And like whoever's there
Well,
is
wait a
great,
I'm
minute,
but
I
it
had a
wasn't.
good
I'm focused
time.
on institutions. I'm focused on rock with letters written into it. That's what I'm focused on. People come and go. Good times are only here for a couple minutes. Rocks with carvings. They
smell
can
would
last
that be?
forever.
Somebody asked what smell it would be, Andrea. Mr. Jim.
Oh,
What's
it's one hell of a
what's your
smell.
s-
Let me just
what's your
it's
scent?
impossible to put into words. Human language is inherently it's too
Oh,
restrictive
shit.
for me to encapsulate in a way that would be truly adequate.
Just wonder what
Nice,
if people
son.
think about that. If people ever, not in a morbid way or in a way that you would do it in a prolonged manner or something, but do people think about like art, not if somebody is memorable, but like why you would be? Like
No.
sometimes I think like, why
don't
would I
know.
be memorable? Because I'm
Well, because you're
not
an
for dad
artist.
jokes.
No, it would be because of your art and your work.
Well,
what
so
you've
I
left,
automatically
your
think that
legacy.
wasn't always the case. That's a very recent thing for me. Like my whole
Well,
life has
why are
been
you
leading
thinking
up to being
I know why.
remembered for the last
Your entire
3 or
life
4
up
years.
until the last 3 years has been backstory. That's like the
Oh,
first
good.
5 minutes
Okay.
of the movie. Yeah.
We
Like
can
you
end the
got to get
show.
everyone knows the backstory, but you just kind of have to do it anyway. So they just kind of speed run through it. That's
We
the
can end the
first
fucking show
46
right there. That's
years or so.
perfect answer. Great.
Yep.
There.
Mystery solved. Man.
And it's like leaving a job. I was at my career for 20
Yeah.
plus years, okay? And
It mattered. Right.
but there's a few people there, but who really talks and says, "Oh, you remember when Sandy was here as the director of HR?" No, I doubt it.
But
I
your experience there led to, okay, yeah. I don't know why I don't look at things that way. Over analytical.
Maybe.
I'm way too analytical that it's kind of exhausting. I think about everything too much.
I don't know.
about
You
this
make
show. I'm gonna
and-
die tomorrow, and this show is my legacy. Like now, we gotta at least keep going for another 45 minutes so I can get everything out there. Because I might die tomorrow. You never know. Like what the fuck?
Andrea,
And this is our rock and stone right here.
Yeah, exactly.
that's a good way to say it.
Little
I
bits
think
and flips.
Sandy and Andrea make things make sense for me a lot. Jake, nah, not really. I don't get Jake. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
Jake's a little bit of an enigma.
You guys make things, and I noticed he didn't jump right into the chat like he normally does But like,
It's Brown Jake. He's going into the fucking corner and he's
It
gonna,
was Brown Jake.
you know.
Brown
I'm too
Jake.
much of a
We
jerk
love
to
you,
admit
Brown
it
Jake.
most of the time, but you guys make things make sense to me a lot. Like I think about it later on, I'm like, that was a great point Sandy made.
Is this one of those Thanksgiving rounds where we all
Well,
have to
thank
sing our
you.
praises?
Okay.
Because I enjoy this
Yeah.
show. This is the only show I do. I quit my YouTube channel. This is the only one I do. So I
I
must
do
enjoy it to
love-
some degree.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I come every Wednesday night to this show and have a good time, and I don't have to think about being at 1.5C or worrying about anything. Just listening.
I
learning,
noticed that
laughing.
when it comes to global warming, you use centigrade. Why don't you use it? Why doesn't? Oh, when the temperatures rise by 2 degrees Fahrenheit, why is it C?
I
You?
do
Because she's a real American, Sandy or
I do
Andrea.
both. I do both.
Real
But-
Americans only use centigrade when talking about global warming.
No. Centigrade is the worldwide measurement,
Yep.
and Fahrenheit is only the United States. And we,
I know.
we just have to. You know this. You're
I'm just saying,
fucking
like,
with me, Andrea.
you know,
Yeah.
1.5C. I don't know what that means. I'm an American.
Well, that's
what?
why we try to teach
Whoa.
people. Listen,
But earlier, you're talking about 80 degrees is a normal, cool day. Like, that's gonna boil
no,
me
I
alive.
didn't say that.
Get me
Nobody
out.
said that. Those
Nobody
words
said
didn't
that.
happen in that
It
order.
never happened.
And
Okay.
they happen, just not in
Never
that order.
Right now at my house, it is 6 degrees, but that's C.
Yeah, that's comfortable.
40 something.
It's
Yeah.
a little chilly. It's cold. You know, you got to wear like a hoodie. You got to wear a blanket around you.
And we're
But
getting
it's comfortable.
it's going to be hot here tomorrow. High of 23.
Ooh.
You guys,
Yeah.
I hate to do it, but
You're
No.
tired.
It's 11:42 p.m. on the East Coast.
And it's like,
Your
oh, I
hack
gotta
is a
stop my
tired
show. I gotta wake up early. Really sucks. I gotta get up early for work tomorrow. And then, man, my boss
No,
really is like,
I
You had
don't.
a
set
long
my
day
hours so
today.
early. And
I
then
don't
it's
have
like,
to get
oh,
up early.
who set those hours? Who's your boss again? Oh, you're your boss, you fucking idiot. And you
That's
fucking
not
do a
why.
morning show after the midnight show? Who does
Look,
that?
I'm not going to argue that I'm not a fucking idiot, but that is not the case here. That's not what's happening.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Carlos makes the 5th guest I've invited onto a show this week. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Some
in
people
4 days.
are laying bricks. Some people are building
In 4
houses.
days, 5 guests.
Some people are flying to Gaza to help kids like stay alive for
If
another couple hours.
oh my-
Matt is out there inviting
Who
guests
is-
on for interviews.
Yeah.
He's really
It's called
So am
mutual
I.
aid.
delivering-
It's called mutual
this is-
aid.
I am
this is
too.
like, it's hard work here inviting people onto my
Although
podcast.
Matt is much more professional at it than I am.
That's true.
I'm terrible about it. I just write to somebody, hey, you want to come on Friday night? Come on.
Yeah.
I'm professional.
I did a professional letter to Dr. William Reese. That's the one I did it professionally with. I wrote.
I
him
just
and
don't
had
invite
him-
people on anything. I'm too nervous. I'm socially anxious. Like, what if they say no? Well, then I can't ever talk to them again. Then it's awkward. Then I have to
Really?
and if they're on the same social media website, I'll have to get rid of. I have to just get off
Andrea,
the
really?
if someone rejects my invite for the show, uninstalling Blue
No.
Sky, might delete my YouTube channel. Like, I can't handle that. So I just don't invite anybody on anything.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you're
Um,
not even doing your show anymore. And you had guests. Didn't you have Jackson?
I did do a show with that guy.
You did
I only
that.
have guests that my
asshole.
audience would set it up. They would go in there and say, "Hey, Andrea said that you could do a show together," and then they send me a message, and I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then now I have to set something up.
You
If
know,
I
Andrea,
told-
you don't need a
What?
guest.
If I told the
Jesus.
chat the 36 hours I've had, they'd be like, dude, get off this show. Go to bed.
right,
it
let's
has
go.
nothing to do
I'm
with my
leaving.
early show tomorrow.
No, it has everything to
But
do with your
plug. What do you got? Carlos, what do you got going on? You doing a show tomorrow?
Yes, A Difficult Truth on Twitch.
Oh,
the
tell us
same.
more.
I
Yep.
have to get
The
Twitch
same
back on.
the same at A Difficult Truth on Twitch around 5 p.m. is usually around when we start.
What
Um,
time zone?
Eastern time.
Is that Eastern European time?
No, Eastern
American.
American time.
American time. Okay.
Yeah.
Merkin.
Sandy?
Merkin. I have Paul Beckwith, climatologist, climate system scientist, Friday Night Live at 9 p.m. Eastern. Be there with your questions.
I have Wells Davis from Indivisible Upstate South Carolina on the show tomorrow. That's going to be very cool.
Nice.
There's a progressive coalition in South Carolina, if you can believe it. And it is all part of a series I'm doing called Living in a Quote Unquote Red State.
I know. I love it.
And what does that mean? So
We're learning.
yeah, it's going to be good. Andrea's like, I'll be here every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern.
No, she's doing her gaming, and you just built one.
I just released a new Doom Megawatt last week. Check it out.
Boom.
It's on my Blue Sky pinned tweet on there. So
Cool.
Bitchin'.
All right. I knew
Okay,
that.
well,
Carlos, you ever
hanging
played
out.
Doom?
No.
Andrea's
I've
like,
seen-
"Let me
I've
see if I can
seen,
find
like,
this out."
I've seen old like computers try like how old can you go like to boot up Doom? I've seen those
Would
type
you
of
stream
content.
my Doom Megawatt if I bought Doom for you? Would you? Are you a gamer?
Yes.
You're a gamer?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Okay, all right. Would
How
you
did
play
it
my
take
game
this
on
long to
stream?
get that out?
Is it like a mod? Like you just mod a
Yeah.
world?
Yeah, it's a whole new world.
Oh.
Carlos, you got to come
yeah.
back on.
Yeah.
For
You'll
sure.
have to come back next week.
That would be
Okay.
cool. I would watch that.
I'm not the host, but you're fun.
Anyway, guys,
All
let her
right,
have out of
guys.
bedtime. Let's
He's
wrap
tired.
it up. Let's
I'm
wrap
down.
it up.
Thank you,
Let's go.
Matt.
Yeah, we
Thank
got to
you,
go.
Matt.
Stay tuned after
Gotta
the credits for an
go.
Easter egg. This song actually has lyrics. It's called "Don't Talk Right Now, Don't Talk Now, Don't Talk Right Now."
Is that real? Are those the real lyrics?
Nope.